feels kind of weird sitting over here. I understand why Tomo now has back problems. You feel me? There's no.
It's not because of this couch. Don't blame it on this couch. Blame it on whatever couch he's been living on. Like,
blame it on the fact that he slumped over making beats for the last 6 years.
I was gonna say, blame it on every chair he's ever sat in.
Every single chair.
Blame it on him.
Blame it on the thrill chair, bro. The fucking racer chairs, bro.
Yeah,
Them
facts.
shits is
I don't
so
like that shit. Actually,
awful.
It's supposed to have the lumbar support and everything. I guess
no
it ain't
type of
working.
support, bro.
I guess
I
it
mean,
ain't
if
working.
you like sit up straight, but like
Now the
OG leaning forward.
Nah, even though the OG threw the black.
Oh yeah, that one was bad.
Awful.
Yeah,
Terrible.
that chair was mad uncomfortable.
I would regularly stand on the stool because it was more comfortable.
Yeah.
expensive, and I think it's a good reason for them to be that expensive.
What?
The good
Chairs.
ones, right?
Yeah, like really good chairs are really expensive.
I mean, them racer chairs
Yeah.
are not expensive too. Them
I'm not
shits
talking about
not
like
cheap.
racing shit. Like, apparently,
Yeah,
like
like
the
the
more
ergonomic
basic
ones.
ones are actually better for you.
No, absolutely.
Not
No, they are.
not the gaming chairs that.
Nah, this
look
shit,
mad
this shit, you
special
put
and
this
shit
shit in the
like
studio.
that.
Yeah,
This
like,
is
these
a
are the
million
best
times
chairs.
better.
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely.
Ergonomic.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. How often do you like lift it
Every day.
and treat it as a standing desk?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Okay.
Is it like wheeled? Do you have to take shit apart?
No, he just presses the button.
He just
and
presses
that
the
shit
button.
goes
Let me
up.
see. Let me see. Oh no, fucking way, bro.
I'm saying.
So the desk got hydraulics. That's wild.
That's a fact.
I
Yeah,
see
it's
you,
good.
fool. I see you.
It's dope.
Hey man, what y'all been up to? What y'all been on?
Eating?
I was about to
Okay.
say
A lot, right?
Thanksgiving was
And
booming.
the same shit over and over and over. How much turkey have y'all consumed?
Not a lot, bro.
No,
You see
no,
my
no,
Bro,
tweet.
you're
I
a
see
hating
it.
ass nigga, bro, for that.
No, he's on to
Zero.
something.
I'm gonna keep it a bean with you, bro.
I'm
You're a
hating,
hating
bro.
ass.
He's on to
yes,
something.
you're
I'm hating, bro.
Because first of all, don't box niggas into your shenanigans, bro. Turkey slaps. Don't say how
Listen,
long
whoa,
we
whoa,
go
whoa.
roll
You
to week.
especially,
How
I
long
don't count you. You like all types of meat.
There's an
Don't do
asterisk.
that. Pause. Don't.
I did pause. I thought about it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
That's a fool.
There's an asterisk to it. Turkey's only buzz if it's cooked right.
Facts.
And I did-
Wait,
That's everything.
oh, that's every single meat in the
No,
world.
so-
That's not. No, you can have.
You have
bad
to
chicken. It's
really-
still decent.
Yeah, you have to really
good.
cook.
What do you? What, hold on.
You feel me?
That was a wild
It takes
oxymoron.
work.
You could have bad
Let me
chicken
rephrase.
that's
Let me rephrase what I'm
decent.
trying to say. Let me rephrase. You don't have to be the best cook to prepare
To
chicken.
make good chicken.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, no,
Turkey
okay,
is
okay,
hard.
okay, okay,
Turkey's
okay,
hard.
okay,
Okay.
gotcha.
Turkey,
feel
you
me?
got to put
You gotta be
150%
nice with it.
work.
If you're making turkey,
Facts.
even
Because
pork,
you
I
have
feel
to
like you don't
make
gotta
up
put that much
for
work.
Nah,
how
pork is very
dry
easy to
that shit
make.
is.
Pork, I feel like
Pork's easy to make.
You feel
pork,
me?
non-steak red meat, because you could fuck up a steak really easily. But like ground beef, bro, that shit easy.
According to Nate, no, you can't. All you got to do
Ground
is just
beef?
put it on the grill for 2 seconds, and Nate be like,
A
"Oh,
steak?
Not 2 seconds.
take that shit off."
2 minutes each side on high.
Nah,
Steak?
he like his shit
Yeah.
straight
2
off
minutes?
the cow,
Like, after
bro.
you
Straight
sear
off
it-
I was about to
the
say
cow.
you got to cook it and then
You sear it for
put it in
4
the
and then you
cast
just,
iron.
it's just exactly fact. Then it's just two minutes each side, booming.
How you like your steak?
Medium.
Bloody.
Nah, medium is right in the middle. Medium's perfect.
Medium
You
is
said
good.
bloody?
Like medium is buzz, bro.
For
You're
yourself?
why you
It's
always
rare.
doing me, bro?
It's rare, medium, well done. Well done is a
medium
fucking
medium
break.
is great, bro.
I don't know.
I'm not the
Medium's a
biggest
little
meat
bit too
eater.
much
My
pink.
shit is
for
always
I don't
well
eat
done.
meat in general. I
My
know
shit is
medium
always
be
well done.
busting.
Medium is
Medium is the way to go.
I'm gonna
No,
steak
medium
tomorrow.
well
Hold
is
on,
the
hold on,
bare
hold on.
When's the
minimum.
last time you even consumed meat?
20. That's all right. Last time I consumed like meat in general was 2018 or 2019 because I stopped eating chicken and turkey.
Do you take any
2019.
like supplements to like get your protein in and shit like
Oh,
that?
you,
I
eat,
say-
you eat seafood.
I mean I eat seafood. I mean
That
yeah,
counts as meat?
It does.
That's not meat.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
seafood.
it's,
That's a
I'm technically a
pescatarian.
pescatarian because
Maybe I thought it wasn't meat either, but people been telling me it's meat, so I'm like, that's meat.
I'm gonna just pretend
All you know.
whatever it is. But I mean, listen. Sushi is amazing. I know shrimp is like a bug in the ocean.
That shit
For
smack.
sure.
It's just so fucking good, bro.
Lawrence,
oh my God.
Vodka, they got some good sushi over there. No
You
bullshit.
said where?
Vodka.
Vodka, this restaurant.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, okay. Yeah, you said Lawrence.
Dominican sushi.
Yeah.
I was like,
No bullshit.
going to
So wait,
going
before we go
Lawrence
to
sushi.
a hole with
Shout out
them
Lawrence,
food
shout
shit,
out to
how has everybody's Thanksgiving been though? How was
I
Thanksgiving
can't
for you?
complain. Thanksgiving is good. You know what I mean? Just being around family, seeing the little kids and all that.
Sure.
Food is always gonna be busting, you know, Haitian food, all that. I said what I said because I'm tired of the turkey. I feel like it's not needed.
Was it fried?
Never had fried
Y'all
turkey.
know
No.
fire
So-
start because of fried turkey.
I mean,
Well, that's if you put the whole thing in there.
I'm like, we know.
I just seen a video compilation on Twitter and it
They
was
drop that video every year
They do.
the same way
They do.
to show niggas how not to
To
do
not
it.
do it. Yeah, facts.
feel you.
Not
That's a
to
fact.
not do it, but how not to do it.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Keep it safe.
Thanksgiving is the one holiday of the year, one day of the year where I just wish I was in Cape Verdean. All 364
Oh,
days.
no bullshit.
Let me,
That's
I'll
the
be
only
Cape Verdean
I had
all
some, I had
you're
some
day.
mac
down
and cheese
bad.
and some yam.
They don't
You want
do
nigga
that,
food.
bro.
I
mean,
I
what
want
do you- so what do
I
y'all-
want
what do y'all-
food from
what do
I'm
y'all-
Dallas.
tired
what
of
do
eating
y'all
fucking
making?
Haitian shit. Everybody
What
eat
do
that
y'all
shit every other
making?
week.
I feel you,
Bro.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. That's
It-
chips. Wait, hold on.
It's just Cape Verdean food that you would normally eat plus a turkey,
That's chips.
plus maybe
That's-
some
I can see
cranberry
why you don't like
sauce,
that.
That's chips.
In just a very large portion.
and mashed
That's
potatoes
chips.
and gravy.
That's chips.
That's it.
No mac and cheese.
No stuffing?
Not really.
No
No
yams.
I had mac and cheese.
No yams.
No
Mac and cheese.
stuffing?
I have mac.
The dressing?
I have mac and cheese.
No.
Dressing. We got dressing. We got stuffing.
I ain't got
Is it
no
cornbread stuffing?
Not
No.
cornbread.
Oh my god.
We don't even got regular cornbread.
No
No.
cornbread at
Not
all?
bad.
No.
I
Do
feel
you have
your
like,
pain,
do you
bro.
have, do you have any
Cranberry
type
sauce?
of like carb,
Bro,
like
this is
grain,
it's like moments like this you
croissant
realize like there's
roll,
different
bread
types of black.
roll.
You feel
No
me?
type
There's
of
different
bread?
experiences of the black.
I'm telling you,
experience.
Thanksgiving
Of course.
is
Yeah,
chips.
of course.
As a Cape Verdean, Cape
Like-
Verdeans do not do Thanksgiving right. I'm sorry. I love my people. I love 364 days out of the
Nah,
year
he
being
do.
Cape Verdean, but Thanksgiving is not it.
I know Christmas is up though because they bring out the pork shoulder.
I'm not even eating
Damn.
that.
I don't know about no pork shoulder.
Nah,
not
that's
eating that.
They bring out the ham.
the Cubans. The Cubans be doing the pork shoulder.
Pork shoulder.
We had ham. I didn't eat it.
More like the tuna fixing. You know Cape Verdeans is tuna, bro.
That's okay. Yeah,
Whether
that's
it's the
not.
bucket
All right, so
lyle
maybe 2
or-
days out of the year. Then that's not wavy.
I was about to say,
Nah,
tuna
but
on Christmas is
Christmas is less about the dinner. You feel me?
Bro.
Like Christmas is less about the dinner. It's everything else around
feel
it.
you.
You know. But like when Thanksgiving
It's
is
about our
all
Lord and
about
Savior.
bringing in the food, and my family didn't do it right this year.
What do you mean?
I woke up. I'm in my girl's crib. They're calling me like, "Yo, you coming in for Thanksgiving?
Like,
it's in like
maybe.
an hour." And I'm like,
Shit.
"An
An
hour?
hour?
It was early.
It's 12 p.m., bro.
That's
What do you-
amazing.
That's so
What?
bad,
That's not
bro.
chips.
Nah, bro,
That's how I
nah.
know. That's
A
how I
1
know the
p.m.
food was.
Thanksgiving
That's how you
trust
know.
me, trust me. I mean,
That's how you
12,
know.
12 is early, but bro,
Bro,
But
I
what
mean,
time did they
things-
start cooking?
Clearly
It doesn't
early,
matter.
nigga.
But even
like,
so, that also just proves that they're not cooking the right stuff.
bro,
Thanksgiving food take mad long to cook.
It's supposed
And,
to-
like on top of that, it's
takes
also like
days
it
of
takes even longer
preparation.
because you only cook it like once, twice a year.
it's
You don't
Thanksgiving
make it out all the
dinner,
time.
not Thanksgiving lunch.
Facts.
Nah, y'all bugging. You gotta eat.
1
I
o'clock.
ate today. Thanksgiving. I've regularly eaten at 4:30 p.m.
Yeah,
early.
That's booming.
That's fine.
perfect.
That's a
And
good
then I
like
can
middle
come
ground.
back.
That's the minimum.
Nigga, I didn't eat till 8.
That shit, I haven't lived that life
eat
in a
till
while,
6:30.
bro. And I'm so ever since
Or
me
5:30.
and my mom's, it's just been me and my mom's and my sister. My sister recently just moved to New Mexico,
4:30.
but ever since we moved up here, bro, we have Thanksgiving mad early, bro. Such a blessing, bro. I'm tired of waiting until 9:30 to
There's
fucking
only
eat, bro.
Yeah,
One-
9:30 is not okay.
That's
That's
not-
that's
not
also
okay at
that's
all.
not wavy, but that also just shows like differences in like cultures too. Because we eat when football's on, so it's like
See,
2:30.
my family don't even do it.
on the table.
I mean, the appetizers was coming out when football. Like when I was still
Yeah,
watching
that's
football, my
appetizers.
family. we
Y'all
was-
doing it
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Facts. We don't be watching no football,
I mean, yeah,
bro,
yeah,
or
croissant
nothing.
rolls.
You're not talking about
fucking
soccer, right? You're talking about,
rolls.
No, we're talking
American
about
football.
like Thanksgiving
Like
football.
NFL.
Yeah.
Why would I be talking about
Like-
soccer?
Not because
'Cause
the World Cup is on right
Like
now.
Jerry Jones.
That's
Year.
what's on.
It's not the World Cup's on every year.
I'm talking about this year. I'm talking about this year specifically.
But nah, he's talking about Thanksgiving NFL.
y'all,
General.
y'all watching soccer?
Huh?
Y'all watching
I watch.
soccer?
No. That's
I
the
was
thing.
watching soccer.
Me too.
I was soccer. I was
We
watching
watched.
that
That shit was
We
lit.
had Thanksgiving lunch early enough to watch Brazil beat Serbia 2-0. So
Shout out Brazil,
You root
man.
for Brazil?
my stepfather's Brazilian. So my not my stepsister. My sisters
house
also
is
have
Brazilian.
Brazilian.
Brasiliano. Yeah.
What
Got
team do you
I
root
see
for?
you. I
You
see
did that with like
Who
an
am I rooting for?
Italian accent. I don't know what's
Be
going
honest.
on over there.
Hold on, wait. What
Portuguese,
team? What
bro.
team do you root for, Eves?
Not Haiti.
Nah,
ain't
a lot of
fair.
Haitians.
Don't do
Haiti's
that.
not
That's
in that
fucked
shit.
up.
A lot of Haitians.
That's what
do
he's saying.
Okay.
A lot
I
of
know.
Haitians do
Think-
support Brazil though. No bullshit. I want to say I'm rooting for nobody though.
No,
No
what?
one?
Oh,
Who you rooting
t-
for? Mexico.
know,
Okay, Mexico.
one and
Gotcha.
only.
Mexico.
One
That's
and
valid.
only.
Mexico's hard this year too.
Mexico,
No bullshit.
I'm
I mean,
saying.
they're kind of hard every year. But here's the thing: I root for the
Shout out
United
to
States.
James
Why?
Rodriguez.
Because I'm from here.
Nigga.
But I see a lot of
I want to see
people.
our demise.
I see
Actually,
a lot of
would-
people from like Cape Verde
That's
rooting
not
for
fun.
Portugal though. What's up with
That's
that?
not fun.
That's
They don't
sus,
know
bro.
that.
You're not
You
gonna
know
see
that
me
rooting
rooting
for
for
the
no
Nazis,
Spain,
you know
bro.
they're
How
not.
He's like, that's us. What are you talking about? Nah.
They're not liberated.
We got to do something
We
about
gotta
that,
do,
bro.
yo, my people. We gotta do
Bro, I
better.
see Senegalese
fair,
people
though,
rooting for
them niggas
France,
do
bro.
got
What's
Ronaldo.
up?
Them niggas do got
Wow.
Ronaldo.
You said what?
Ronaldo's dusty
me?
now, bro. No disrespect. You know,
This is his last
Ronaldo's
World Cup. Ain't nobody watching for that nigga.
not at all.
seen
And he
that?
left Manchester United, but we're
Facts.
not gonna get to that.
Seen
bro.
that?
He won a bag.
Seen Argentina lose to Saudi Arabia, so the nigga
I
gave them
did
niggas
see
Rolls
that.
Royces.
All Rolls
Whoa,
Royces.
whoa.
The
You gotta
prince,
take that shit
the
back,
Saudi
though.
prince, he gave all of them, every single player on
Definitely taking that
the.
shit back.
We gotta look
team.
into
Every
that.
time I hear something about
Royces.
Saudi Arabia, I just realize there's just levels of wealth that I'll never even imagine,
Absolutely.
bro. That's
The
so
levels of
crazy.
exploitation are like
Facts.
in
The
Facts.
wealth
incredible.
gap is crazy.
Incredible.
How many niggas died building this shit?
I don't
A
even
lot.
know. There's a stat for that.
Nah, let me
Yeah.
see. Nah, there is.
Yeah,
There is.
Jeddah? Yeah,
There's mad
there's
reports
like,
on
yeah.
that shit.
Nah, I think I saved a picture on Twitter.
Mad
Right.
reports on that.
That's
WWE be
nuts.
having the events there. I'll be like,
It's crazy.
That shit's
I
so
got
wild.
Jesus.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. The discourse
Brock
on Twitter
Lesnar
has
was
been
last
mad annoying because you got like people being like, this is a foreign country, respect their customs, but at the same time, it's like, oh, it's a human rights violation. When it's like, oh, you're just a stupid American. It was like
That's the same logic they try to use with the Brittany Griner situation.
that shit was so
Human rights over
free
everything.
Brittany
Fuck
Griner
that.
till it's backwards, bro. Oh God, that shit's so stupid. It's so funny to see motherfuckers like talk about, oh, you gotta follow the law, this, that, and the third, but in the very next breath, it's fuck the police. Like,
Facts.
you need some consistency, bro. You can't
Nah,
trust.
usually those people aren't the people saying fuck the
No,
police.
it really is though, because it's the same motherfuckers who talk about like, oh, we gotta imprison women for false rape accusations, but they're never gonna be the ones to actually try to hold people who do sexual assault accountable type shit. It's
Yeah,
the
this
same.
shit's backwards.
It's
Like
the
niggas,
same.
even when thinking about like Brittany Griner, it's like I believe that like okay, you broke like international law, whatever. You're in their
For
country,
sure.
follow their laws, whatever.
If
but it's
you-
like
if she
you
gets
see
punished,
the penalty.
that's
the penalty's
fine.
egregious.
Bro, she's in the
That's
worst
the
prison
issue.
in Russia right now. In one of the worst prisons in Russia right now.
Fuck.
And that's the thing.
9
For
years for
dad
basically a
pen,
dad
bro.
pen, right?
A dad pen that she, one, had a doctor's
Just
note
tough.
for, two, has had it in that country before because she's played in Russia for like the last how many years. So it's
I don't know about that second one. That's kind of, if anything, they should lock her for longer because of that.
no, because
Keep that under- keep that under the table. Keep that under the table.
Wasn't it that like she's had like somebody, if I'm wrong, I have no problem being corrected, but like I thought it was under the understanding that she had a doctor's note for this shit multiple times.
She
not
is a
doctor.
political pawn. Let's be.
The thing is,
like
she
free the
is,
guys
she
for-
is,
for
but
the
it's
run.
confusing because what, like I understand, like I just don't understand Russia because if you're gonna choose someone to have a political pawn, why are you choosing one of the most disenfranchised groups of people to use, like
They
a
don't-
queer black woman?
They don't
bro?
care about that.
Do they not?
They don't care about that.
You know
Bro,
that
get
shit
somebody
reminds
like
me
Matt
of-
Damon, bro. What the fuck?
Well, I mean,
you
to be fair,
think,
it's not like Matt Damon's running around Russia though.
I
They're
feel
like,
you.
yo, she's
I feel
here.
you.
We gonna
And
use
you
what we
already
got.
know what
I
happened
feel
if they
you.
took LeBron, bro. So
Y'all
I
remember-
don't know.
I'm going there if they took LeBron.
I was saying,
I'm putting
honestly,
boots
this
on.
nigga
I'm
made
I'm gonna have to step in.
gonna have to intervene.
Y'all
bro.
remember that
I
Dave
appreciate
Chappelle
it.
joke?
What?
It was like the terrorists hijacking the plane.
Terrorists are smart. They know what they're doing there, you know. They terrorists. They know it's black people's bad bargaining chips. They called the White House. Hello? We have got 5 black... Hello?
They're like, give our citizens back.
We've got Brittany Griner. Hello.
Putin's like, his accent just falls off. You know they be using the accent for hello?
A lot.
That's a wild. He really hung up on me.
Can I ask y'all a question that I've kind of like had this in the notes for weeks, but just meaning to bring it up, and I feel like it's more relevant now because we're talking about like cultural differences. You feel me?
Mhm.
And I seen a tweet, and it was something along the lines of like, I don't even want a non-black partner because I don't want to have to explain to them why I'm washing my underwear in the shower. And I remember,
What?
I don't know if I want to get personal, right?
Like, I feel that, but what?
But
No.
I understand where you're going with it.
I remember
In the
like,
bathtub, not in the shower.
I got on my mom because my mom doesn't.
No,
let-
so is it my fault?
No, let me break this down, right? So my mom doesn't let us touch the laundry machine. Like that's her sacred thing, whatever. You know, I've tried, like I've done my own laundry and snuck it and type shit, and she'll get tight. Like I know you used
to
it.
do
Like,
laundry in your own house is crazy.
no, I
was about
can't.
to
Bro.
say,
She
that's-
won't let me touch the machine, bro. She'll measure the fucking the tide, my nigga. Like I'm telling you, bro, it's wild. I don't know whatever the case is.
I was doing laundry when I was
Free
like
rub.
4 or 5, bro. I was doing the wheelbarrow.
I
with that
feel you.
shit.
It's a different
Free
lifestyle.
nigga
Don't
rub,
hate on
man.
me, bro, because my mom do my laundry, bro.
Is it like,
right,
is it like the bill? Is she like, yo, you just gonna turn up the water bill? Or is it just like,
I think my brother had ruined the machine last time.
so,
So when
okay,
she got
okay,
into the
that's
machine, she
okay,
was
okay,
like,
okay.
yo, we're not doing
Don't
that.
trust
Y'all
y'all
niggas don't
niggas.
touch
Y'all
this
not.
shit.
That's
Yeah,
fucked up.
but I know
That's
how
fucked
to
up on
use-
y'all,
like,
not
bro.
her. That's fucked up on y'all.
But she's like, she groups us up like there's not a 6-year difference. Relax, bro. Like, you know, we
I
not
mean,
the
to
same
her,
people.
bro, you a child.
Facts. You're her child in particular.
And I
nigga.
think she got an issue with like my load don't be big enough to justify.
Fuck.
That's also
I
good.
was like, wait,
That's
wait.
also a good point.
I was just waiting for it. I was like, somebody gonna say
That's,
it.
that's so wrecked.
The load is big enough.
Context
We shouldn't do
is
that. We
fucked
shouldn't do
up,
that.
But golly, I had to say something.
You had to
Y'all
save
are
us,
dirty
bro.
minded niggas. But right, and I didn't get on her, you feel me? But I was like, yo, like I'm kind of, you know, I'm running out of boxes here. You feel me? I might have to go to the store and go get new ones. You feel me? And she was like,
I'm running out of boxers.
well, if you wash them in the shower like everybody, like she came at me as if like
That's
this was
facts.
something I grew up on. Like you never taught me this in my life.
Oh, she didn't?
No, she did it herself
I mean,
type
my mom-
shit.
my mom
You know, I
never
always
told me
seen
that
like the
shit.
underwear hanging on the shower rod type shit, but like it wasn't like I was expected to do it. And then I seen the tweet and the thread and like people really going back and forth like, why would you put your underwear in the same laundry machine as your clothes? That's nasty.
I don't
And,
think it's
and
nasty.
then
What
some
y'all
people are
putting
just
your
like,
whiz in
it's
your
soap, my
drawers?
nigga.
What?
Facts, like soap.
Nah,
Soap don't work, nigga.
So I was so when I first read that, I was confused because I thought they were saying like, oh, while you taking a shower, you're washing your underpants.
They do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nah.
So what people were saying,
I don't
like,
do that.
I mean, I wash. So I've washed my clothes, like my drawers and my socks, in like the sink or like
in
the
the back
bathtub.
bathtub,
Yeah, I'll use detergent because it's like, bro, there's no reason I'm gonna kill like a few, like I don't know how many gallons of water go into a washing machine per load. But like, there's no reason for me to use that much water when I'm only washing 4 items.
So no. So what people will do, like, well, there's two types of people, right? There's one person who just goes into the shower, they take their underwear off, they clean it, they put it over the rod, they let it dry there. You feel me? And then they'll maybe use it again. But then there's people who take it a step further and then still throw it in the laundry machine afterwards. But it's like a pre-clean, like it's like they pre-clean it before they throw in the laundry. So I just wanted to know, do y'all do that? Do y'all subscribe to that?
I do that with shirts, like white shirts.
Mm.
You don't bleach them?
I do. I bleach them in the bathtub.
Mm.
If I'm gonna bleach them, I bleach them before. It's like a pre-wash, and then you put them in.
But you don't just do that with like all whites? You don't just load up all your all whites and...
Nah, you still gotta bleach them. Like, and I feel like in the bath,
you bleach them in the washing machine.
It's more effective when you bleach them outside of the washing machine. You do it in a bucket. It's more concentrated, and then you're able to put it in the washing machine to like just clean them.
But do you do it with your underwear?
Yeah, not like that. I put them in the dryer if I'm gonna wash them, or I just wash them with the rest of my clothes. Doesn't really matter.
Okay, but you have no issue just washing them with the rest of your clothes.
Nah.
What about you, Yves?
No, I haven't done. I've only seen women in my family do that, or
That's
like
what I'm
women
saying.
in general do.
Yeah,
that.
facts.
I've never been told to do that, so I never did it.
We used to do it when we were younger, but I
have
feel
my
like the
fucking
washing
thing.
machines are better now.
My hamper
I ain't
is
trust it.
Only time I was really
Put it away.
doing it like while I was in the showers was because the washing machine was broken. That's the only time I remember doing it in the shower. Because my thing is, I don't like, unless I'll bring the detergent to the shower, I'm not gonna leave the detergent in the shower type shit. Because the other thing is,
You bring the detergent into the shower?
that's what I'm saying. Like, why I'm not gonna shower? Like, because I'm not gonna use body soap to wash my drawers. That doesn't make any type of sense. So my thing is, for me, it just doesn't make sense. Because one, I didn't grow up with it. But
I think
two,
it's one of
Was
those
your
things
mom
where it's
born
like
here?
you get
My mom was
soap in
born in
your
Mexico.
hands and
No, I'm
then you
talking
get
about
the
Rob.
underwear
oh, he's
and just
wrong.
Nah, you
rub
know
it
his
against
mom wasn't
each other
born
type
here.
shit.
Your mom
What?
wasn't born here, right?
Nah, she's born in Cape Verde. So
I feel that's part of the reason.
most
bro.
women I know, like, you feel me? Like most women I know, that's what they do. You feel me? But there's also
I don't
blood
think I've
not
met-
coming out of my penis. So I feel like it's not.
What?
it's not
I was
the
about to
same.
say-
What did he say?
You know, it's
He's
not
saying that
That's what he
he's
said
saying that
before
they
that.
have periods, so there's like blood that comes
Oh,
from
like
their
period
vagina.
like maybe that's why you don't, you
Yeah.
care a little bit more about
Maybe
like
I don't-
separating those things.
I don't know though, because I would like my mom taught me how to wash our like underwear in the bathroom too. Like that was just something that we did for a while. I don't do it now because I feel like I stopped caring and I was like, why do I do that? Why am I doing this every time? But I do still do it with my whites though.
Mm.
Like I'll like wash them separate. You know what I mean? Segregation.
But it's all about how you're raised, type shit. All right, it's just all about how you're raised. Do you guys have other things like?
But
where
I'll
it's
be
like,
damned if someone see me cleaning my clothes and ask me questions about it though. I'll be like, why are you on my dick, bro? Let me wash my clothes. Like you wash your clothes how you wash them. I wash them. They're clean, right? They're getting clean. It's not messing anything up.
That's
It's
valid.
just it's fun. You feel me? That's how I agree with the tweet. Like I would not want to explain myself.
I feel you.
I'm like, you ain't seen this before? Maybe there's something wrong with you.
I feel that makes sense. There's definitely things that like I do because of my culture that I feel like other people would scratch their head about.
Like what? Oh,
Oh,
you was bringing that earlier example, like your mom asking you, like, why you wear a Dewey?
yeah. So my mom, I mean, she's come to understand that it's a protective hairstyle, but like for a really long time, my mom wanted me to have nothing to do with a do-rag
Because
my
of the
mom-
imagery of it. You
because
feel
the imagery of it and what she thinks it represents,
Yeah.
and like I definitely understand. Like you're a light skinned dude with a do rag on. Like I'm never gonna wear a do rag without braids. Like like the do rag. I had to explain to her that like my use of the do rag is purely to protect my braids when I go to sleep and just to keep them shit steady. I'm never gonna wear a do rag without the braids, and I'm not gonna do it in a stylistic way. Like I have a babe do rag. I don't really wear that shit. Because one, doesn't actually protect my hair. It's the materials. It's not great.
It's not silky.
It's not as silky as I thought it was gonna be. But,
As I thought it was gonna be.
which is like, yeah, cool. I'll put it around my neck or something like that. But like the it's for a protective hairstyle. But for her, because it was always associated with like it's a black thing type shit, and she doesn't want me to overstep my boundaries and do something
I mean,
that
she was looking out. That's fair.
Yeah.
no. My mom,
That's
everything my mom does, like we butted heads a lot. The braids was something for a really long time. She was not fucking with it at all because it was again like she doesn't feel like it was. Even though I had gotten my hair braided before like a lot, and like even though she didn't really all the time know I was getting it braided, It was just like for her, she's an academic, feel you? I mean, so she comes from a very like cut and dry type of like analytical mindset. So for her, she's using race theory. Her perspective isn't coming from a perspective of like a nuanced community.
It's more coming from like how the world would see you, and she's protecting you from their, I guess,
exactly.
their
Or at least trying to prepare you for it.
racism.
No, it was definitely to protect and to prepare me, like for like especially with the do-rag. Because she's no bullshit. If I'm not wearing braids, she's absolutely right. I have no business wearing a do-rag. Like there's 100 and different other ways I can protect my hair that don't involve a do-rag. When it's with braids, it's a whole nother story. Because this wearing a do-rag is so easy when I have braids, bro.
That's a fact.
It also just feels comfortable, bro. Like compression on your head, bro.
Hearing you say that, it just makes me think about like all the times, like, you know, when your parents just tell you something and they're like, yo, I'm looking out for you. Like, nah, we just don't see eye to eye. We don't agree on whatever it is that you're discussing. And then a couple of years down the line, you're like, damn, it was right.
Like what?
Like, I'm trying to think, for example, what's something most recently that I was like, damn, my mom was right. No bullshit.
And I'll tell y'all something I'm going back and forth about whether I want to do.
Can we turn the heat down?
It's
Anyway,
hot. You gotta take the sweater out there.
Hey, bro, I'm not.
Tight.
I got a tank top on, bro. I'm not ready to do that on this podcast yet.
Or even like the whole idea, I don't know if it's like, how often were you sleeping in your friend's house when you was younger?
A lot.
I never had a chance to sleep over like my niggas' cribs.
Cousins.
Not for none.
That's about it.
Cousins is different.
Cousins is way
Yeah.
different because I was
Cousins
living
is
with my
different.
cousin.
Like
I'm talking
friends,
about,
like just going to friends'
yeah.
cribs.
I was never allowed to do that shit.
Bro,
Unless
unless
I got older, I realized, there's a lot of weird people out there.
No,
It's
no,
like,
no.
You don't need to have your child
I used to
sleeping
get
in
tight
and
at
out
my
of
mom
places.
for that.
Facts, you never know.
But like she would always want to like know them. She wants their phone number. She wants to talk
Yeah,
to
my
their
mom
parent
was the
first.
same, and I respect that.
And no,
bro.
as it
The
should
moms
be.
would have to have conversations with each other.
You got to
Even-
get a vibe check on the other
Yeah.
parents because these parents might be nuts, bro.
Tight, exactly.
Nah, I completely
No bullshit.
understand. The thing I was talking about back and forth, especially like on some cultural shit, like, you know, I'm thinking about getting a nose ring.
Mm.
And if you ask anybody in my family,
You
like,
should just
don't
did
do
that
that.
shit. Don't even tell her.
Don't even tell her.
I was about to
Nah,
say.
but you already know she's about to reject it. She might be like, what are you doing?
What if
she
she
was
wanted
like,
to ask for forgiveness?
She
You
wouldn't
gotta
have.
ask for permission.
Yeah, she did not like. They wouldn't have approved the earrings, but then over time they're like, oh, that look good on you.
Yeah.
Type shit. You feel
Nigga,
me?
you know how many arguments I've had about my hair? About
That's
getting
wild.
locks?
That's wild.
That is wild.
I mean, I got into
Haitians
it.
don't fuck with it.
Really?
That's
They
wild.
do
You
not.
don't,
bro.
you don't have
It's not
people
our
in your,
culture.
you don't have people in your family who lock
There's
their
mad
hair?
Haitian
Of
niggas
course I
with
do.
locks out here.
Of course I do. And
They
they're
gotta get
all,
with the
they're all
times.
considered vagabond.
more often than not out here, I see a lot of Haitian people with locks than
Yeah,
not.
facts. They gotta get with the times,
I
bro.
feel like I know more.
Bro, you
Haitian
gotta-
people
If it was
than
me, I'd have been like, here's exhibit A through Z, and then A through Z again.
Let's
and
take a
then-
walk down the street real quick.
Facts,
and
let's
see.
walk through Brockton. Let's just go ahead and walk.
Let's say I think all the
I
Brockton
already
is
know
locked
she'll
up.
be like, I
Let's
don't
go
care.
down
Bro,
That's not
you-
my son.
That's
I
a
don't care.
fact. That's when they bring up
Nah,
like,
it is
oh, if they
valid.
jumped
You got
over
it.
a bridge. Like that's when they bring that
You know
example.
what I mean?
You're like,
But
no,
you gotta
but
put-
maybe if they're doing it and surviving, it might not be that
I was
bad.
about to say, is the bridge lit?
Yo.
What's under the bridge that we jumping towards? Like,
Be like, are they
Yo,
okay?
next Thanksgiving, you gotta
They
pull
live.
up with the Holy Trinity. You feel me?
Oh,
Gotta have your
get
hair
tatted?
locked, you gotta have the piercings, and you gotta have a tattoo.
I was about to say,
Kill, like, just have your
Get
mom
a
do a whole
face tag,
stroke.
get a
The
face
unholy
tag, get a
I've been
face
thinking
tag.
about. I've been thinking
Back
about it
up
more
on
and more
trilogy.
lately.
Really?
Piercing is not. I don't
Wait,
really
you're
have any-
opening up to the idea of getting tatted?
I was never against it. I just never had anything that I wanted on my body.
Yeah, you
tat?
do.
I was
Get
like,
in
get the
there.
face tag.
Face tat?
Get a knife.
Face tat?
Get a
Nah.
knife. No, just get
feel
the
like-
Haitian flag on your forehead, bro. It'll be hard.
On
I'm
my
telling
forehead.
you.
That's
On your forehead.
ridiculous.
I was about to say,
What
they'll never-
producer?
they'll
What
never not
producer?
know.
I was about to say, they
I
gonna
think there's
see
a reason,
you.
I
Like,
think
oh,
there's a reason why
these.
they haven't done it.
Haiti kid.
You know,
Wait. So what are you thinking of what's the tattoo idea? Like, where would it be?
Either somewhere like right here or on my back. I don't know yet. though.
Concealed
I'm
KD
about to
method.
say, that's crazy.
KD method.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's a lot of people.
Remember that nigga had all them fucking tattoos on his
On his
back?
back.
Now he got shit on his arm too, I think. But yeah,
John Wall was
I
the
ain't
same
people.
way for a minute. John
Yeah.
Wall had his whole torso tatted with none on his arms for.
And I remember when I was there when you got
That
your
shit was
first tat,
wild.
and ever since then you kind of, I'm not gonna say you went tat crazy, but you got it more
Nah.
over time too.
2020, I went tat crazy because I was like, yo, I got bread and I got time, and the tattoo artist I've been wanting to go to is free. But like the KOBK shit, my mom, I was actually gonna hide that shit for an ill minute
Really?
because one, my mom's fiance did not fuck with KOBK. My mom's fiance had a lot of issues with me. Like there's a lot of shit that my mom's fiance brought into our
What did
relationship.
KOBK do?
Well, because
I
her
think
her whole thing was
I can't be specific.
Killer
It's just
be-
the idea,
no,
right?
Oh,
the
yeah,
killer
the
be
name,
killed.
the
So
name,
not
yeah.
not like the group itself, but like just what it.
She ain't
No,
know.
No bullshit. No, she had a problem with. I mean, my mom's ex had a problem with everything I did because she brought a lot of trauma from her own relationships with the men in her life, and she only saw me a lot like kind of the shit we was going through 2020.
They're
we
projecting it onto you.
Exactly. Like it was that they're, and again, it was like an organizing space, which is so ironic, but it was like this person who has such high moral high ground, but they aren't able to realize that everything that they're doing, they're projecting every single aspect of their trauma onto one particular person. And I was living with this woman for 8 years, 8.5 years. So from when I was in 7th grade to when I was a junior in college, she was in my life. And that whole time, there was a lot of ups. Exactly. There was a lot of ups, but like, she couldn't distinguish the fact that like, hey, I'm lying to you because I'm a fucking kid and I don't know how to handle responsibility. I'm not lying to you because I'm a misogynist and I hate you. But so when circling back to the KOBK shit, she really didn't like the idea of the whole kill or be killed. And I mean, we talked about this as a group too. We were trying to
kind of like rebranded it. Yeah,
exactly. And her whole thing was like, oh, kill or be killed.
Kings only believe in kings.
Yeah, that's a real hotepish.
I was about to say, my mom said, I heard that shit. I told that shit to my mom. She's like, I like kill be killed better, bro.
That's
but her whole thing was, it was like it's toxic masculinity. But I explained it to my moms in a way that like made sense. It was like, yeah, you can see that, but at the same time, it's like, it's the industry shit, bro. Like it's either we gonna step on or we gonna get stepped on type shit.
Yeah, it's a dog-eat-dog world.
But the tattoo was not flying. My mom's was cool with it. My mom's fiance was not cool with it. That shit was not flying. And I was gonna try to conceal it for an ill minute, but like I have ADHD, so I just be forgetting shit, bro. So there was one day I was just in my tank top walking around the crib, and I laid down with my mom, and she was like, "What is that on your arm?" I'm like,
It's.
Like, I get it.
Define arm.
I feel like what
you mean by that? What's going on?
What you
talking
like,
about?
you just gotta be blatant with it and just show them like this is what it is, and they accept it, and they'll just know to grow up to be like, that's just who he is now.
That works for
some people. I was about to say that works for certain people.
Yeah, that might work for some.
That's all I was saying earlier. Like, it's better to ask for forgiveness and permission for some things. Because the other thing that I was living through was that like I had a lot of home insecurity when I was living with my mom and her ex. So something like a tattoo, I had been kicked out of my house multiple times and shit for a variety of reasons. And I was mad. You would think I would have been worried enough to remember, but like
it'd be like that.
Mental disability, that shit be kicking my ass. But it was like with a tattoo, because it's a permanent thing. Like with braids, bro, my mom would just make me take out the braids whenever I came home.
Yeah,
that's just what it would come down to. I remember there was one time where like she had a bunch of people over. And I had braids in, and she was like, yeah, I need you to take them shits out. And I was like, I got these shits in this morning. What is you talking about?
Yeah.
She was like, nah, take them shits out.
And you did it?
I remember them days, nigga.
Fuck, I want a roof on my head while I'm on break, bro. I don't want to go back to low.
What you want on your head? The braids or the
college,
roof?
Bro, I got the braids
bro, that's dead ass what I was going through,
It's
bro.
a good question, though. Bullshit. That's
It
It's one of those things.
It was one of those things. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Gotta pick your battles.
Nah.
The roof gonna give me some hoes?
Probably. Where you gonna hoes gonna be?
I was about to say, where am I bringing the shorties?
They gonna bring you.
You know what? That's a slippery slope. That's a slippery slope.
Because then I go to her crib and there's 20 men there who all want to kill me.
Or you got a baby boy. You feel me?
Or
Start
I go to
cooking
her
up
crib
in
and
the
her mattress
kitchen
is on the
naked.
floor.
You feel me? You gotta step
I can't
up.
just go to nobody's crib.
You gotta let them know. You gotta lay down the rule, bro. Start cooking eggs.
Have you ever been inside your shorty's parents' crib?
One time, and that's when she was moving out.
Bro. Exactly.
Like I said, one time.
I met her dad when I was moving the mattress, bro. Huh?
She's Cape Verdean.
She's Cape Verdean too?
She's Cape Verdean, yeah.
From the motherland.
Okay. I was about to say.
She's like dead from Cape Verde too. She was born there and then immigrated over here.
Heard you. Would you ever? I'm not gonna ask this question.
Nah, just ask.
I mean, would you ever? I'm not
date outside my race.
Yeah, I'm not insinuating that this like your relationship.
Date outside your
end.
ethnicity.
Date outside your ethnicity.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you ever date outside your race? Actually, because I feel like it's a little bit easier to date outside your ethnicity versus your race.
My race, as in like black.
Are you black?
I was about to say, that's not a question for me to answer.
Come on.
That eliminates a lot of options. You feel me?
Yeah, it does.
I feel like
I'm not saying, bro. That's the point.
I'm gonna be real.
That's the point.
I have an affinity for island women in general. Just the islands. You feel me?
Ireland's an island.
I was about to say,
there's a lot of Asian islands as well.
I was about to say, Britain's an island.
Not those type of islands. Not those type of islands. The islands where the colonizers left. You feel me? Those ones. You know, that's where we at with it. You know, but I can see myself dating outside my race.
Wow.
Would you ever date a white woman?
Okay.
No offense
Right
to white
answer,
women.
right
You
answer.
you feel me? I don't want to have to explain why I wash my underwear in the shower.
I'm crying. Hey, bro. Everything comes back.
Bullshit.
Everything comes back.
No bullshit.
Yo, before we like really get down to it, you feel me? I really have a genuine question for y'all. Are y'all mad at the Jerry Jones shit?
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
All right, so basically there's
Why wouldn't I
It
be?
makes sense. It makes sense. I'm gonna be honest,
You
but
a
I'm
fighter?
still mad about it. I'm also
Nah,
mad
he's
at
the owner of the Cowboys.
so the owners of the
Why did I
Cowboys,
think
they
Dallas
found
Cowboys.
they found a photo from
photos,
1957.
multiple,
Mhm.
plural.
Oh, like him protesting like the whole.
He's in the
The
protest.
integration of schools.
integration. Yeah, I did see that.
He's got bro. He looks like a menace. He got a fucking and
How
one
they
picture he
find
got a
this nigga?
cigarette in his mouth.
How they
and not
find this
lit.
nigga?
No, he
Just
got
pictures,
he got
and
a
they were like,
distinct
you know
face.
what I look like? Jerry Jones. Probably
Yeah,
started a
yeah,
joke.
that's really
That look
him.
like Jerry Jones like 50
Somebody
years
was high
Wait
as
a
fuck.
minute.
They're like, hold on.
It was like, yo, Jerry Jones 50 years ago. That could be him. And then he probably showed it to people that was like, nah, yeah, that's him.
That's
It was
def him.
Can I be honest?
So how old is he at this time?
He's in his 70s, 80s.
I think he's like
No,
Oh,
this
at the time? Oh, yeah, probably like in his 20s.
He's a teenager probably.
Teenager.
Late teenager, I'm assuming. Actually, now look it up because
Yeah,
he
I'm about to
could.
look it up.
Yeah,
He
he's
could.
white. It could be anything. He could be in his 30s at
He
the
could be
time.
No
15.
bullshit.
all right, right? So he's 80 now. In 1957,
Oh, yeah.
he was 15 years
Yeah, I was
old.
about to say he's young.
It's a young nigga.
15
Smoking
years
cigarettes at
old.
15-year-old. That word was
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying. That's sick.
No. Okay.
Having that much hate in your heart at 15.
Can I
is
keep it
wild.
real?
But right,
I think
how much of it is society influencing
that's what. Okay.
at that moment?
He's racist
15 years
still.
old.
Hold
I
on.
was about
Hold
to say,
on.
he's
I'm not saying he's
set
not.
on his
Of course, we know
ways,
that
bro.
inherently he is racist for sure.
No. Jerry Jones is Jerry
don't know
Jones.
that nigga.
Jerry
Jerry
Jones.
Jones.
I don't know.
Jerry
Jerry
Jones
Jones
is
is great.
I don't know
Jerry
this
Jones
nigga.
literally
Jerry
went on a
Jones is
campaign to
racist.
get Colin him and fucking the Patriots owner Rob
Robert
Kraft
Kraft.
went on a whole campaign to make sure Colin Kaepernick never stepped foot.
Jerry Jones is
On the
so.
NFL
Jerry
field.
Jones is like, you know what I mean?
Dallas
Did you see the
Cowboys
line? They're like, oh, like my diamond's so white, they call me nigger. Jerry Jones is like, he takes being an owner of a football team very seriously. That's an owner, all right.
Oh, he's the owner who's like the GM.
Yeah,
It's
he
like
owns everything. He owns the players basically.
He wouldn't even let them
Gotcha.
have any type of political discourse or demonstrations during the Colin Kaepernick shit. He was like,
Gotcha.
"You,
Yeah, it's
if
just
you want to do
bad.
that, you out of a job."
Even think about like Emmitt Smith. I know he hates Emmitt Smith to this day
Okay, but
because
alright, even
he probably
beyond
looks
the
at him as
point
like the
that I was
black one,
trying to make,
the
right?
black man that got one over on me.
Shout out Emmitt Smith for
Wait,
real.
wait.
He basically didn't want to re-sign him, and he was like, "You're not worth anything. I don't care. We'll find another nigga just like you." And then that nigga like he sat on the bench without playing, and then
He found a couple after that, bro. He found DeMarco Murray. He found what's it called?
Are they allowed about to
Elliott
It's
Wilson.
Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith is
we don't
Ezekiel
come here, nobody
Elliott.
He has the
Emmitt
most
Smith.
rushing yards in the history.
Herschel
of the NFL.
Walker.
Come on.
So explain it
No,
to me.
don't
Are
ever
people.
say
I'm saying like
bench, bro.
he said he said the
Dallas
team will
Cowboys
find.
running backs is crazy.
But he was saying a team will find success without you. And when they lost them first 2 games, 3 games, he was like, "Damn it! All right, pay him. Fuck it." And then they won the Super Bowl.
Wait, so explain to me. Are people surprised by this?
No,
Not at all.
And
Stephen A.
that's-
Smith was defending him.
Because
though.
like,
and that's
I
what
didn't
I
see
want
that
to keep it
video.
real about.
So I
This-
actually kind of want to watch that shit.
This should only be brought up for comedic purposes. Get your jokes off. Like I don't actually feel like there's any reason. Like if you hate Jerry Jones, you hate him for every other reason because you know whatever he does as an owner type shit. But this, do we really care about this?
I feel you. Like there's certain situations where
Because like we don't even know that. Like it looks bad, but what's the
It's
context, bro? He's
bad,
just
bro,
standing
he's-
in the photo, bro.
He's not, bro. I feel like I've definitely
nah,
seen.
that look like some mob shit.
Bro, he's not. You
Bro,
don't
you
go.
got the
No
press
bullshit.
there.
No
You got the
bullshit.
press there.
You don't go to an event like that
Connect
and
to the
surround
Bluetooth.
yourself with people like that if you're not with that shit, bro.
Bro, you look like
Nigga, nah, you look at this picture, you know what's going on.
Yo,
Bro, he got a
connect me to the
cigarette in his
Bluetooth.
mouth unlit, bro. He's
Look at
a
this
menace,
nigga right
bro.
here. Look at this nigga.
No, these niggas
Smiling,
isn't
like,
instigating a
just
whole
looking at him like,
situation.
nigger boy.
Like this, yeah.
I
This
feel
dude
like-
is sick, bro.
No
He
bullshit.
bugging.
Are there any pictures of him yelling? Because I feel like
But he's just looking,
He's
bro.
kinda
Like,
just
like how
standing-
can you
he's just standing
assume
there.
like what he's doing? I'm not
Don't
giving.
do that.
No. I'm not giving him flack because I can imagine, bro. You're
Yo,
15
Rob,
years old in
The next one,
1957.
CNN.
You're
reporter-
racist, bro.
Reporter stunned after spotting NFL owner Jay. Like, what are you surprised
Stunned,
by?
They gonna pull
Like,
up
what are you
pictures. They
surprised
gonna
about?
pull up pictures of you at the protest that we did in 2020, like the one that Black Boston
I don't
organized.
know, that's
And they
not
gonna be
good.
like, they were like Roberta. They're like young. They're like 508 God in a mob at the. Were you not protested?
I was definitely
You was
protesting, bro.
protested. So
You was
why else would you
organizing
But
be
that
there?
I was holding a whole
Oh.
speaker, bro.
Yeah,
I was
you was
leading
locked in.
them.
So I'm saying, why else would
Honestly,
you
if
be
you want me
the
to be
vibes.
real with you, if you want me to be real with you, right?
That's
I'm
bad. That's
just
bad.
looking at the
That shit
image.
looks like a horror movie.
What the
All right,
fuck?
bro. Like,
Just
like,
looking- I don't know what that's
we're
about.
talking about
Just
this
looking at the
situation.
image, right? I can't really read his emotion.
You
I
can't.
can't tell if he's just looking like what's
If you
going
don't like
on
Jerry
over there.
Jones-
Bro, no bullshit.
Or
No,
is
no,
it
no.
like-
This is the thing.
I don't really
bro.
know what's going on in his head right now.
Like obviously, like I said, I'm always open to be corrected and have somebody like call me in. But you don't go to spaces like that, bro, and be that close to the shit if you're just trying to observe. Like there's going to events to observe. But even when it comes to demonstrations, bro, you're not in the thick of that shit unless you really support it or you have an agenda.
Yo, can we be real, bro? There's an 1,000% chance at this like age and at this time in his life, he was probably, if he's not still, he
still
was
is,
definitely racist, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
But are we surprised? The word is, are we shocked, stunned, surprised?
You don't need to be surprised for it to still be mad about it type shit. Like that's the thing, bro. Like
bro,
I'm not
if this
surprised.
was Joe Biden, I'm gonna be like, yeah, the nigga's old enough to be in that area, bro. Like,
I can still 4K.
I'm hit, but that's what I'm saying, bro. This is you is undefeated
That
in
is
the
a
universe
force.
of all time, bro. There is no.
I didn't see that.
Bro,
Nigga.
that's what somebody was like.
Like they're like plotting. Like what
And
the
the- and
fuck?
Because he's not even in the forefront of the photo.
Like,
He in the
that's
back.
what I'm saying.
type
Like they're
shit.
like right there.
But let's say like he was he was there to cause issues. He's there for the whites. Why are you surprised though? Like,
It's
why
not
are
about
you
being
I don't think I'm
surprised, bro. I
surprised.
keep telling. It's not about being surprised, bro. It's still about being like, oh, you're a piece of shit who is still in a position of power. Like that's
Bro, don't we know
that's
that
the shit
everybody
that
who
pisses
was
me
80 plus was
I feel like
racist at
damn
one
near
point, bro?
every
Yes
No.
and no,
Like,
I
but
feel like
not
damn
everybody.
everybody
Yes, hold on.
sports owners like that.
But
Bro,
yes and no.
An
Like,
80-year-old rich white man, bro.
yes and no,
No.
but at the same time, though, not every rich white man
Bro, who
is
do you-
the owner of a foot. Like, bro, not for none,
I
bro.
feel like-
Dallas Cowboys was my
honestly,
favorite team growing up, bro.
I feel like
Besides
it's
the
an
San Diego
anomaly.
Million
Chargers.
It's
days,
the
Bernie
reverse.
Sanders was protesting. I don't
And
know
that's what I was about to say. He's an
So I'm
anomaly. What you
saying-
mean? You show me a picture of Bernie Sanders.
really not an
same
anomaly.
context. No, I don't know anything behind. I'm gonna think.
Bernie
He's
Sanders was
probably
surprised.
talking about yo, fuck them niggas, da da da, and I'd be like, oh, who knew he was on that type of time?
Nah,
Facts,
Bernie-
right?
no,
I was like,
Bernie
well,
Sanders.
well,
If you show me a
I'll
picture of Bernie
be.
Sanders, no context, I didn't know who he was. I'm assuming.
He be
Well,
wearing,
based
he
on
was
that
wearing mad
time,
shirts
he's
back then.
probably
and
saying
said
some
shit,
racist
though.
But
shit.
then back then he was in protest and shit.
Which I'm
and
saying,
like no, I'm saying
He's
like
an
you see
anomaly.
like he's
Seen him.
protesting like against the shit that they're protesting.
It's very
interesting.
also the way they treated like white people back then was very different when they was arresting them in like when it was situations of like,
For
oh,
sure.
you're just a white dude getting arrested versus, oh, we're dragging you away because you're trying to uplift other people. Like the photo of Bernie Sanders getting arrested, they're dragging him by his fucking feet. Not by his feet,
His
but like by his arms
yeah.
type shit. And also, not for nothing, Bernie Sanders is not an anomaly. There's like a lot of like white Jewish folks who was really
Facts.
gung ho about that shit. Don't really talk about them because obviously we should center the voices like the black leaders, but that shit was not an anomaly. There's a lot of revolutionary.
no,
like,
there's
ethnic
definitely a lot
groups.
of allies in that time. But I'm saying with no context, you're not going to give the benefit of the doubt and assume that based off of the time period and just what we know through
Location,
history.
But
where
again,
he's
but again,
at,
but
what
You're
again,
going to
he's
see
around.
a white
location.
male. You're going to see a white male and assume
You're just gonna
racist.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna assume that out of a survival instinct.
You feel me?
They're racist regardless.
They are.
Like, I'm gonna just say
You know
that no
what I
matter
mean?
what. I feel you.
Specifically
No,
what I'm
I'm gonna say
saying.
that no matter what when it comes to like that time period. So
I
I'm
hear you.
agreeing with you.
But
You feel me?
seeing
I can still be
seeing
upset,
this on
though.
Twitter is like, bro,
I
it's,
haven't seen people be surprised. I just seen jokes.
So I'm saying it's just
that's
mad
what
jokes.
I would just treat it as jokes because it's like, bro, it takes too much energy to be upset, and it feels like it's like this is the topic of the week, and then next week it doesn't matter.
Nigga, show
bro.
me a
It's
picture.
just- it's
Show me a
just-
picture of Joe Biden that same year.
But the
I
thing
promise
is,
you,
the thing
Joe
is, bro,
Biden's
bro,
right
but
next
it
to
would have been the
the
same
same
shit. It would have been the
For real,
same
bro.
thing. But the other thing is, bro, it's
I
just
don't
the reason it's upsetting is because it's again
Upsetting,
people-
bro.
It's because,
like,
bro,
like,
it's
it
a
take energy
reminder.
out of you, bro.
Absolutely, because
Bro,
at the end of the
you
day,
needed
it's
a
a
reminder
reminder.
to know that
I don't need a
80-year-olds are
reminder.
still
I don't need a
racist out here,
The thing is, bro,
bro.
I live it every day, so I don't need a reminder. But it's still like I go to Twitter to like be like, oh, blah, 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 blah,
I
to see
respect
some
what
shit.
you're saying, but I
like,
feel like that lifestyle is very draining.
For sure.
I mean, it's not a
very
life I
draining.
chose, bro. It's an emotional response. I can't control it, bro. I can't like the whole idea, like, oh, you can choose
No,
when to
because you
be
can choose to be
offended.
dismissive about a lot of things.
No, absolutely. But
I can
then
see that and be like, okay,
But,
not
but
surprised.
it's
Keep
hard to
pushing.
be dismissive, bro, when I've seen people like Jerry Jones in power like directly affect people I love. So that's where the frustration and
And maybe
anger
that's
comes from.
fair because
It's
I
not
have
about.
I don't care about football. I don't watch anything about.
Well, it's not even
football.
about.
So,
No, it's not even about. It's
deeper
not even
than
about.
people,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. It's deeper
So
than
what people?
Black people.
Black people, bro. Black people in Texas, bro. The Jerry Jones has done a lot of shit. He's not just a Cowboys owner, bro. Like you got to realize a lot of these owners directly affect the cities and towns that they are stationed in. There's legislation. I don't know how to say that word. That is changed.
Same shit.
How much English
We know
major?
what you're saying. We know what you're
Whatever.
saying.
Words are hard, but they're like they change the entire like environment that they are in. Jerry Jones, Dallas the Dallas Cowboys team, bro, like it's a very racist
So
organization.
Pete, my point is that if you had an issue with them, you had an issue with him before this. You feel me? Like this is not the shit that's gonna make you be like, whoa. You feel? If you didn't fuck with him before, you didn't fuck with him now.
This might be the first time that a lot of people like this.
Jerry Jones being the back, like I know about Jerry Jones
If this
because
is
I'm
the
a
straw
Cowboys
that broke
fan.
the camel's back. Like, oh,
I'm
I
saying
don't
a
know
lot
if I
of-
can
it's not-
support him
bro,
anymore. Like,
Nah, a lot of people support the team, and a lot of people don't know because they only
Exactly,
see the
bro.
team. This could be their
Exactly.
first time seeing that their owner's racist. They could be their first time even experiencing something like that. So it's like you can't be mad at people for being surprised. You can't be surprised that they're surprised or like disappointed that they're surprised when some people just didn't know.
I don't know, man. No. And the thing is,
The
like I said,
information
I'm
wasn't
not,
always there
I'm
for
not
them.
caping for this
That's what I'm saying.
for Jerry Jones at all.
I'm not saying that. I'm
No,
saying that your
I
frustration
just
is
want to make
just,
it clear.
but that it could also be like, you know, you could also have like some like understanding
I
if
just feel
people
like
are
It goes
surprised.
both ways. It goes both ways type shit.
Like I said, I just feel like it's the Twitter topic of the week, and then people get like all riled up about it, and then next week that energy's not still there. If the energy's still there, I salute it, respect.
What do you mean by the energy though? People just tweeting about it.
And also,
Like,
not for none,
but-
there's definitely
but
people
the ones
who are
that
gonna
like
keep
make
talking
the
about
whole
it too.
the
outside of
breakdowns
Twitter.
and the think pieces and everything.
What
off
think
of this
pieces?
information.
People just been saying he's
I was about
racist.
to say, I haven't really seen any.
What think pieces?
Also,
bro?
I'm not gonna lie.
You
You said
I
it
haven't
got
looked
you
at it as much.
upset, bro. Like
right.
it caused a
is upset,
strong
but it's
reaction.
upsetting.
It's upsetting because, bro, I've seen
Like, I don't
I've
get it.
seen Jerry Jones, people like Jerry Jones, still in power, directly affecting the people that I love and care about, type shit. Like I got people,
And that was the issue
Yeah.
before you seen this. So you would still feel that way regardless if you seen this picture or not.
absolutely, but it's just like, bro, I don't think about that shit like on a like day by day, hour by hour. Like obviously, I'm thinking about other shit. So it's like I'm on Twitter, bro. I'm like vibing and shit, and then I see some shit like that, and it's like, oh. Again, I'm reminded of these things. Like when it's, I don't need that to be reminded,
validate
but it's
that.
like, again, I'm being reminded when I don't need to be reminded, type shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious where I want to take this conversation now at this point is it's not the same issue, but it's the same kind of thinking of like. Now with Jerry Jones, it's very hard to defend because it's not like this is like Bernie Sanders, for example, where we had an idea that he was with us, and then it's like, oh shit, like he was doing this back in the day, and then holding him to something he did 60 years ago, right? So now the comparison I'm bringing now is, do y'all see what they did to Chris Brown at the AMAs? They
Yes.
they set
They
him up to
canceled
have a
his-
Michael
his-
Jackson
his set.
tribute for like
You gonna say Michael Luther Jackson?
no, I was about to do that.
That's his middle name?
No,
No,
you
you
know
fucking-
what?
bro, don't do that.
Michael
Don't do that.
Jackson
Don't do
named
that.
Luther?
Don't do that.
Michael L.
Don't
Jackson.
do
Don't do
that.
Yeah, bro.
You feel me? But
Mike L. Jackson.
I think because I already know what y'all are gonna say with the Chris Brown, because it's not just holding
How you
him
know?
to the domestic abuse that he did to Rihanna
No.
however many years ago.
I was
it's
gonna
that
say
he's a
Carucci was in the
serial
audience, so he couldn't
abuser.
be there.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it's
Carucci
because
was in the
legally he
audience, he
can't
couldn't
be
be
there,
there.
bro.
Now what?
That's really the case.
Now what?
No, but is that really the case?
She
Or
was
you just
there.
saying that? But you
So
don't
now
have
what?
Restraining
well,
order.
She has a restraining order against him. Well, not like you can't be like what?
But you could say
What
that-
else could it be?
No, but you could say that we need
No,
a
he
Chris
doesn't
Brown.
also have a great relationship
There's
with
a lot
AMA,
more that
bro.
it could be. But imagine it was. Yeah, Carucci, you don't show up.
Hey, bro.
You matter less than the tribute.
You know how
can't
wild,
show
hold on, you know,
bro,
first off,
you be alright.
you know how wild that is
You be
for a news network, or not news network, AMA,
Different
like
type
the
of
AMA,
nigga.
bro, to be like, hey,
Different
we
type of nigga.
know your abuser is here, we don't want you here,
Don't
but
show
we're gonna
up.
keep him on the stage. That's
No,
wild,
I'm
bro.
a
They would
different
get.
type of nigga for that
I was
one.
about to
bro.
say, that's
Nah.
crazy. That's
Different type of
no,
nigga for that
not
one.
even, no,
I'm
like,
not about to say what I was about to
fuck
say.
the
I
moral-
know I'm wild.
fuck the morality standpoint, bro. Like that, a business as a
I'm gonna say at
business,
the
that's a
most, they can, like,
terrible,
measure it and
terrible
be like,
business
let's place her
decision.
over
like
here.
100 feet away or something, 100
No,
yards.
where have her in the nosebleeds?
They got 4 different seats for
the
her.
fucking nosebleeds,
Yeah,
bro.
like you could be
But there's no
here,
reason to
when,
keep
but then
her
as soon
out
as he
the
gets on the
building.
stage,
They're like, hey, Coochie, come here real quick. We're
If you
gonna go show you
measure
something
the
out
distance,
back.
we're not
We're gonna show you
gonna-
something out
If he
back.
steps over here, it's still in range. Like, we probably shouldn't have seen it there.
You're not gonna ban her. I'm just saying, like, yo, we have this Chris Brown tribute. If you're not comfortable or it's against a thing, I'm just letting you know that this is
But
happening.
nah, but that's the
Like,
thing.
this is
Why are you bringing that
happening.
to her?
And she like,
That's what
I'm
I'm
still
saying. Why
gonna
are you
show
making
you.
the victim in the
the
situation.
survivor?
You're
Why are you
gonna be
making the
like,
survivor
if
make
you're
that?
not comfortable, maybe you shouldn't come. It's like,
That's
what?
wild, bro.
They're
That's
in the same
wild.
spaces, bro.
No, the
That's
conversation
tough,
needs to be with Chris
bro.
Brown.
They're
Like,
really
yo, you know
not.
what?
They really don't
Shouldn't
be.
have done
We're
what
rethinking about it.
And
You
it
shouldn't be
saying.
here. So that's the
He
issue.
shouldn't have
Wait,
abused her,
why is she
bro.
at the AMAs?
why not?
she's
She
a
is not a
celebrity.
musician, nigga.
She is, bro.
She's not a musician, bro.
Not like that,
She's
but
not
like
a,
she
she's an actress. She's not a musician, bro.
She's
She's
dancer
definitely makes
too.
songs.
Bro, she's a celebrity at the end of the day.
Facts.
She's a
At the end of the day, the
celebrity,
title is celebrity.
who is
Nigga,
involved with the
I
industry.
just-
Is she dating anybody right now?
I don't know nothing about.
Bro, I literally just said they be in the same spaces, and you're like, no, they're not. They do two different things, and then I just bring up
I didn't
that.
say
So
that.
why is she at the
An
music
award show
awards?
is very different than actively being in different spaces.
She doesn't need to be there. That's the point I'm making.
doesn't
bro.
see
Chris
Why not?
Brown doesn't need to do a tribute to nobody,
Why not?
bro.
Yo,
He didn't need to be there either.
Exactly. Chris
What
Brown
is it?
don't need to do
Wait,
nothing,
wait,
bro.
What is the tribute even for though? I know it's for Michael
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
But is it like a certain anniversary?
40
40th
years.
anniversary of Thriller.
40th
Okay.
anniversary of Thriller.
And not for none, like when
And
it
I'm pretty
comes to
sure-
performance, I don't know better performers to represent Michael Jackson
then
Chris
than
Brown.
Chris Brown. But at the end of the day,
And they had
it's-
Sierra doing it too.
I
Hey,
think
So
shout
did
out
she end up
Sierra.
doing it without him?
they
Or they
I
just canceled the whole
they
thing?
didn't do a tribute for Mike. Period. So there was.
Oh, so it's bigger than Chris
so
Brown.
it's twofold. It could either be because
it's just
Whether-
probably
It's
the
bigger than
bad
Chris
look.
Brown.
whether the
I don't know
advertisers.
I don't know if the estate also gave them the right to do that.
It could go so many ways why
look this
this
shit up,
didn't
bro.
happen. But if you're looking at it from the perspective
I
that
think
like
that's why the tribute
they're
didn't happen
domestic,
without
like
Chris
they're
Brown either.
abusers, or people still view Michael Jackson to be a molester, a child molester, and then just combining all those forms of abuse and being like, this is not a good idea.
Maybe, but I
That's
also
what we
think,
doing, the mic now.
But been doing
This
it
is what
to
they
now.
doing to
but I
Michael.
thought that's
Wow.
like been dead. Like it's been proven. Like he didn't do it. That's not the case.
There was
It's
an
deaded.
HBO documentary
It's
like
deaded.
3 years ago that came out about that
That
shit.
documentary looked funny in the light. I thought though.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
did.
watch
It did. But I'm saying
Like, I
people
thought
are
that
still.
whole conversation
End of the
was
day, they're
deaded.
still talking about it.
But all this to say, right?
But that's the point of me bringing this up. Yo, they will bring the skeletons out your closet and keep them there,
But the
bro.
thing is, Mike,
That's
don't
not
do
a
it.
skeleton.
That is a
That's
skeleton.
not a
Mike don't got a
skeleton.
skeleton. He didn't
That's-
do nothing.
But that's probably not the reason why they didn't go through with the tribute though, because regardless, he's been honored like many times
That's what I'm
before.
saying, like,
that
there's
doesn't matter.
awards after
Like
him
that
and
wouldn't be
shit.
the reason. It'd probably because the estate didn't allow them to do
MTV
it.
has the
Like,
Michael
'cause it's like you don't
Jackson
have
award.
You don't have clearance to the music, so that's probably why.
Then
But
why didn't they explain that to Chris Brown then? Because Chris Brown is saying
that's
that
not-
like they didn't even explain to him like
They just canceled it.
days
He should
before
know.
they just said, yeah,
Because
we're
it's
not
also
doing
not
this.
their responsibility to let them know that though.
They should.
If it's a
There's a
restraining
level of
order,
respect,
if it's a
bro.
restraining order, then like that's not information that the company or the organization or whatever
But you're
has
not
to
saying
disclose
it's a
to him.
restraining order. You're
I'm
saying
saying
that
that she was
No,
there
but
though.
It's as simple as being you're
So you
just
can
not
imagine.
allowed to be on the premises. Simple.
He already knows that if she's gonna be there.
I'm trying to look up why.
So that's what I'm saying is that that's a conversation that he would
Okay,
either
so
fuck
then
around
boom,
and
right?
find out, like
Let's
pull up
say-
and find
alright, let's
out,
run with it.
or
Let's
I'm
run
trying,
with it
I'm
and say
trying to
that's
look
a
it up, and they
scenario,
have,
right?
I'm looking at an article right now.
Let's
and
run with that and say that's a scenario. Why did they not let Sierra do it by herself then?
she is not
Why
no
did they cancel the
fucking
whole thing?
musician, bro. I told y'all. Her,
I didn't say
her
she was a
Wikipedia
musician.
says actress and model, bro. Why she
I thought
has
she was
no
a dancer.
business
I
at
didn't
the
know
She's
that.
made
AMA?
music before
I
though.
don't think about Tinashe. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
I think that's what
I'm
you're
Hey,
sorry.
shout
saying.
out to Nashe.
My fault.
so she's an actress.
But Tinashe
shout
also
out to
did
They
her.
Chris
just
Brown, though,
confuse
right?
light skinned women,
She's
bro.
a
This is
first of all,
terrible.
Did she not also date Chris Brown?
Whoa.
Huh?
Did she not also date Chris Brown?
I don't
Tinashe
know.
did
No,
not date
no.
Chris Brown.
No.
But
my bad.
let me answer your question, bro. Because like
Another
if the
light-skinned
estate
man,
doesn't
Ben
allow
Simmons.
it, then it's like what can you do?
Say it again. I didn't hear you.
If Michael Jackson's estate doesn't allow you to use his music, what can you do?
You explain it to Chris Brown why this is not
Nothing.
happening.
That's not what he
And first of all,
asked. Why did he respond
Why do you
to
even
that?
prepare? Why do you? Because he's been preparing this for weeks. You feel me? He's had this whole dance routine. He's been practicing for
Maybe they
weeks.
were on the fence.
Why would?
Maybe they
Bro,
were
no
saying
bullshit,
maybe
bro.
they were saying yes and then said no.
No bullshit, bro. They
we're
probably they
dealing with
also
a lot of
probably
hypotheticals
found
right
out
now.
some other shit. Like, bro, a lot of things go on in the background of this shit. They probably found out it could have been the Michael Jackson estate.
Could have been
It could have been the fact that he has ongoing legal issues with Carucci.
restraining
could've-
order.
Exactly. It could be the fact that he just said some out of the line shit because, bro, he's done shit like that where he's like on Good Morning America, bro. He literally fucking threw his chair around in his dressing room and did some wild shit. Has he been on Good Morning America since then? This was like 10 years ago.
All I know is
But are you still holding that situation?
I'm not
I
holding that
guess so?
situation, but Good Morning America is still holding that situation. So all it took, Chris Brown, we know Chris Brown has a behavior
happens-
of being aggressive
Okay,
and
so
being
let me ask you-
violent.
Because this is the question that gets brought up along, like when I see online. You feel me? And like I said,
you know niggas
I
love
kinda already
caping
know
for
the
Chris
answer.
Brown, bro.
I already
He
know the
shucking
answer.
jive, he dancing.
No,
They're
I
like
th-
shit.
Yo, wait,
Like
hold
shit.
up. The
We've
same-
seen that same
the same way
backflip
you
for
feel
10
that way
years.
is there's a lot of people who are gonna they're gonna hate Chris Brown no matter what the fuck he does. Like, and
I'm mad.
people bring up the like Rihanna's not even mad at him anymore. Why y'all still mad or whatever the case is?
It's not just
But
Rihanna.
that's not even your
He's
business.
got,
No,
bro,
I'm
he
at-
has
I'm
like,
at-
he has
I'm
like
at-
Rihanna's
10
past
years
it,
of
she's
being
over
with
it,
women. where
fine,
he's-
but that's not your business.
It's not just Rihanna though.
That's what I'm saying, bro. There's like,
Like,
there's
so what
10
does it matter?
years of other women
Mhm.
he's like done this to, bro. Like the
What are
fact
the
that
receipts?
The receipts?
Nigga,
You
yeah,
want
what?
me to look
I'm
up
just
all the
ignorant.
women
I'm
Chris
just
Brown has
ignorant.
You
abused,
want
bro?
us to look at the terms and conditions
I
of the
mean, I think
restraining
there's
order and
restraining
read it
order
for a
for a
reason.
reason.
That's
I
what
know
I'm
what
saying.
the
It's
restraining
restraining
order
order.
for a reason.
And be like,
restraining-
oh,
bro.
it's a restraining.
I'm familiar with the Carucci one. I'm
The
not
restraining
familiar
order,
with.
and that's just back from like
And you
what,
need more?
2016,
I don't need to be-
2017, bro.
You need more,
If it's
bro?
legally
Wait.
on
No, but
paper
y'all
that,
saying
yo,
like
there's a restraining
serial,
order,
that's-
I don't need to hear more.
No,
You need more?
I understand.
If
but
you
I'm
need
not-
more?
I'm
If
not
somebody was
defending
like,
it.
if
I'm
somebody
just
was
saying,
like, yo, this
is there
person,
more, bro? Like you're
it doesn't
saying,
need to be
it's
more.
10
First
years
off,
ago.
first off,
Is there
it
more?
is. There is more.
One is enough. I feel you.
There is more,
I
but one
completely
exactly.
understand.
There
But that's
definitely
two.
is more. There's multiple. I mean, I just told you about the Good Morning America shit, bro. Like he's a violent person. Like maybe he.
Throwing a chair, that's more of a tantrum to me. Like that doesn't.
You're a
actually-
grown ass man throwing a tantrum because somebody
Wasn't there
asked
shit
you
with
about
Gail
a
Kim,
question.
too?
He's also young.
About who?
He was
Not
young.
Gail Kim. That's the forest. Gail, what's her name?
Gil Kim.
Oh, like Oprah's friend.
Yeah.
Gail
I
Kim.
said
Gail-
Gail.
is it
her
Night?
name
Gail-
is not Gail Kim. Gail
Gail-
Kim is a wrestler. That's why I was like,
Shout out Gail Kim.
No,
I thought the same
Gil.
shit.
We know you talking about though.
Gail
Brown.
King.
Gail King? Yeah, Gail
it is
King.
Gail
There you
Kim.
go. See, it's close.
Shout out
Gail
Gil Kim though.
No,
she was one of the
lit.
best. Bro.
Her finisher was hard. No bullshit. That shit was believable. But
Shit,
yeah,
there's an article that was posted 4 days ago. The timeline of violence towards women. Chris Brown.
Yeah, they hate
bro,
this.
they numbered this
That's
shit, bro.
bad.
This shit goes all the way.
They
bro,
said,
this shit goes
you
down
would
to
like more? Well, here you
it
go.
goes down to 11, bro. Look, I'm gonna read some of this shit. So
11.
one, Chris Brown. That was bad. Two,
I can't defend this. I'm not trying to defend this.
I
Nigga.
know, I know.
I really want to
He
make
stole
that
a woman's
clear.
phone after she took. I don't know about that. He shoved a woman to the ground in a nightclub, leaving torn ligaments on her right knee. 3rd-degree assault report filed after a woman was forcefully ejected from his bus.
Did he do that?
His
Nigga,
female
shut
tour
up,
manager.
bro.
His female
what?
tour
Don't do
manager
that,
claimed
bro.
he
It
threatened
could've
her
been
with
like the
beautiful
bodyguard, like,
Don't do
get
Nah, bro, listen.
Don't do that. Don't
Wait,
portray
but
yourself
no,
like
hold on,
that.
hold
No,
on,
no,
hold
I'm
on,
not
hold on,
portraying
hold
it.
on.
I'm just
Don't
trying to
portray yourself
I have
like
to
This
show
is the
something.
thing. This is the thing. It doesn't.
Listen,
It doesn't
man.
matter if like
Listen.
single like
He said,
small
did he
single
do that?
things are
No,
blown out
because
of
they said
proportion.
Chris
when
Brown's
he has a
bus.
pattern. Bro,
So
wait,
it's
hold
Chris
on,
Brown's
hold on,
bus,
hold
so
on.
they
Let
say
me
this
finish
is
my
Chris
thought.
Brown. You feel me? Like that. I do want to differentiate that.
I feel you,
Like,
but I'm saying
do
like
have those like context.
I'm
This
saying
might
this,
not
the
be
more
the-
I'm hearing, I'm like, the
this
more
might
I'm
not
like,
be the time to
there's a lot
ask
of
that
instances
question.
where a
though,
woman
bro.
getting hurt around you.
I don't want to align myself with them.
That's what I was
at
saying.
all.
You might not want to ask that question right this second.
Whoa. This. He was hit with a $20 million lawsuit accusing him of drugging and sexually assaulting a woman on a yacht in Florida. This was January 2022.
I don't want to be that guy, but what's a lawsuit?
Why you keep doing
What?
It's not a good look.
Bro. No. So I'm gonna say this real quick because I've heard this a lot, bro. When it comes like why are you suing them and why are you not going to the police?
No.
Bro, how many
Suing them
convictions?
is fine, bro. Suing them
That's
is
the
fine.
lawsuit.
You know,
Yeah,
I
that's the
understand-
lawsuit.
But
We
where
just
did the
hear-
lawsuit go? Like that's also important because I can
told you, bro, there's
I
a
can
separation.
file.
It just
No, hold on.
happened.
between
It
me
just
and
happened
No,
in January
hold
2020.
on. Come on, guys. Like, let's not do that.
2022.
Come on, guys.
No, hold on. Because y'all are gonna do that. Y'all playing it safe. It's real. It's
Nigga,
real safe
I don't
behavior.
know, so I'm not saying
No,
nothing.
it's a
You say
valid
it a lot.
question. No, hold up. This does not. This does not. What's it called? What am I trying to say? This does not make put him in the clear. But I do want to make it clear also that a lawsuit does not mean that person is found guilty of doing it. Not to say that Chris Brown is not guilty of that situation. I was not there to speak to be able to say whether or
I mean,
not
if
he
there's a
did it.
lawsuit, does that not mean you're settling?
But I can. No, that does not mean I could file a lawsuit right
open
now,
case.
bro.
I'm looking.
It's
I'm
an open
trying to open
case.
the lawsuit right now.
I
I
thought
will say it's
I thought
also
that's because you want to avoid taking it to trial, taking it to court.
No, that's a settlement.
Okay.
now settlement like settling out of court. You can settle out of court in a lawsuit and in a criminal
I could
trial.
open a
but,
lawsuit
like,
right now
actually,
and
I
be
don't know if
like,
you can do it in a
yo,
criminal trial, but-
character infringement
I don't
type shit off some stupid shit you said on the pod, and there'd be no basis to it. But I can make that lawsuit, bro. You feel me?
I'm about to sue you.
Nah, sure, bro.
And what was the
But like I
conclusion of
said,
that
it's not
lawsuit?
to say he's in the
I'm-
clear.
It's loading right now. I'm gonna let you know. But regardless of the conclusion of this lawsuit, it's the reality that even if small things are blown out of proportion, like him breaking a woman's phone, it's a pattern that he's exhibited for the last decade and a half. Bro, this Rihanna shit happened in what, 2009?
He's an abusive guy. There's no
2008,
question about that.
2010?
He's shown
He's
that.
not an abusive person. He's violent. And it just manifests in abuse.
Exactly.
A lot of times.
Abuse towards women specifically, towards black women. Like obviously he's dated a lot of light skinned women, but at the end of the day, he's regularly abusing black women, bro. Like,
Doesn't Carucci have a kid with him?
No.
no, thank
Nah.
God.
How y'all know
Actually-
so much?
Yeah, let me just eat my drink my coquito.
I'll be on the internet,
I
bro.
don't
When this
wanna
shit
give
was happening,
nobody
bro,
good graces
I don't be
and
on the internet as much,
I
bro.
don't know.
But I was when a lot of this shit was going, like
I feel like
2017,
this is
bro.
all news to me.
Because I mean, not for nothing, bro. I grew up like surrounded by women who had
Shout out
lived
to
through
Nico for the
violence and lived
Coquito.
through abuse. So my viewpoint is gonna be very different, and I'm gonna look at shit a lot. Like if I grew, bro, I'm not gonna lie. If I grew up with my father in Texas, more likely than not, I would be a Chris Brown fan just because my father would not expose me to the same type of ideas and realities that my mom would. And my mom didn't even have to expose me. I seen that shit live, bro. To my sister, to my mom, to my cousins, to my tia. Bro, there's so many like instances where I've seen men do women grimy. And not only did I see it, I was able to analyze it with the help of my mom because she is so like strong in her thinking that she was like, I'm not gonna let my son turn into my.
And I think that's such
father.
an important thing to.
I'm not gonna let my son wake
even
up Chris Breezy.
I think it's important to recognize your own biases too, of how because and why your biases are cultivated the way they are because of how you grew up, and that's everybody. Everybody has specific biases or care about a cause more than another because of how they grew up. You feel me?
I mean,
like, if you grew up with someone falsely acclaiming your father for doing some shit, you'd look at more situations with skepticism. But if you've seen the other side of domestic abuse, you're going to be quick to like defend the accuser and not even give like any, room to the person being accused because of what you've been exposed to. You know what I mean?
It's like the odd. It's like maybe not guaranteed, but the chances are like you would lead in that favor
for sure.
But the thing is, not for none, I've been in multiple situations like that. I have a friend in high school who was accused of sexually assaulting a woman, and it was my black friend who was accused by a white woman, and it was again the reason was because her parents didn't like the fact that she was fucking a black dude. So when her parents found out that she was doing drugs and that she was fucking the black dude, she came out, and obviously none came of it. My friend is free. Nothing actually happened. It was a bunch of rumors, but she accused him to her parents of sexual assault. So I've seen situations where it's like that.
Damn.
And my thinking is still like, even growing up, like this was like one of my little brother, bro. Like during high school, this was me and him was like running track daily, bro. We was doing workouts daily, bro. Even when he jumped off the deep end with some shit, bro, that was still my family. Like me and his mother was talking regularly for years. And I'm still in the mindset where I'm gonna believe the woman first, regardless, bro. Like unless, like, I mean,
well, wait,
there's always gonna. I can't say that for sure because there's nuance and context to every situation. So I can't depend.
If you don't know the situation, why is the first thing to take a side? Why are we like? Why do we do this to ourselves, especially in the internet era where it's like we gotta pick a side? It's okay to be like I do not know the details.
Accusations are very grotesque, bro. Like.
But if you don't know the details of the situation, take a step back and reserve judgment. There's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know, let me reserve my judgment.
There is something wrong with that, though.
Well, why?
That's like being
you don't know.
I think there's two.
Imagine
before you continue.
Okay, go.
I think there's two things that are like problematic about that in general, right? One, because I think you're attributing it to like us like having to pick a side as opposed to like standing on our values. Our values say that we believe survivors, so we're gonna believe the survivor when they say that. You know what I mean? That's the thing. That's the first thing. Even if it's not true, like I think the second part of that is that like you're also saying that like folks can't like switch their opinion.
And not for none.
With that evidence
but
coming
it's
out.
dangerous because the thing is about...
You ever been on a jury, bro?
No, let's talk about...
Have you ever been on a jury?
No, I have not.
Yeah, so like one of the things that they tell you is that like when you go into that room and you're making the decision amongst yourselves as jurors, what happens in that room stays in that room. The only thing that matters is the decision.
Okay.
Niggas don't go in there with the same opinion that they come out with all the time.
That's a fact.
It's like you change your mind based on what's presented, also based on like everything that's given to you.
Now,
and that's just human nature as well.
Now there's two things to that. There's two things to that. One, imagine you had that same thinking with his friend, and you just go straight to
can't change my mind.
No, but
I don't have to persecute the niggas.
This will go to the second point.
Right?
This will go to the second point. Hold on.
Okay,
I'll let you
go ahead.
Go right. So imagine they just jumped on that, and now especially
what
when
does that look like? Can you tell me what that looks like, or what you're imagining that looks like?
It goes to assuming that he abused her and like painting him in a light. And
what do you mean by that?
That's a dangerous.
Like, is he losing out on opportunities?
Listen,
like,
that's what I want to know. What does that look like when he's being painted as these
when
things?
your name and that's the thing, especially when we talk about abuse, it's abuse, rape, whatever the case is, because it does not matter. The moment you get attached with that label, bro, it does not matter if they find you not guilty later on,
it
bro.
Definitely does.
That shit is attached to you. Nah, bro, you go to their Wikipedia, that shit is still there. Whether
false, it'll eventually be correct and say falsely accused of rape.
But I'm bro, you've seen it too many times where it still follows you, bro.
It's not true, bro, because we know.
It's not true. You just said it, Michael Jackson, bro.
We don't know about the Michael Jackson shit. We really
First of all, he's not alive right now.
How does that affect him? His legacy gets affected.
Everybody love Mike. The only
not everybody like Mike.
Only people that don't like Mike is people trying to get better off from racist people.
Huh?
No one's truly canceled, bro. How many celebrities
took that back a couple weeks ago, bro?
And that was a joke with Kanye. That was a joke with Kanye specifically.
Bro, cancel
At the end of the day,
has
Kanye
more to
wasn't-
do with
Kanye
financial
wasn't- bro, the thing
opportunities
is-
being taken away from you.
Kanye
Opportunities in
no,
general.
he wasn't, bro.
Day, bro.
Kanye wasn't canceled, bro. He literally made terrible business decisions and insulted the people who handle his money. That's not being canceled. That's a business being like, I'm not fucking with you.
What I'm gonna say to what you're saying, bro, I'd rather be wrong in this
And
situation,
renege.
right? I'd rather be wrong about my friend and be like, yo, you know what? I'm sorry I didn't believe you in the moment. I apologize for that. If you can find it in your heart to forgive me,
That's
do
fine.
that.
That's-
Then
that's-
be
that's
rather
your
than
right.
looking at the woman and being like, you're lying, and it comes out she was right and she was telling the truth the whole
That's the
time.
issue.
That's
That's
the
the
more
thing.
fucked up to me.
Hold on,
Yo,
that's the
you feel
issue.
me?
That's the
I'd
issue.
rather be wrong
Hold
with
up,
my friend and be
hold
like,
up,
yo, you know
hold
what?
up.
You was innocent.
But
I'm
Yves,
sorry.
he's not
Yves,
saying
first,
that
do you
though.
see
He's
that's the
saying that
issue?
you shouldn't pick a side at all.
You're saying no. I'm saying reserve
That's-
judgment.
Yeah,
You're
you are,
thinking
yeah.
I'm
That's the
saying
same shit.
if I'm not believing her,
No,
I'm
not
calling
saying
her a
that's me
liar.
specific.
That's
saying
not
in
what
a
I'm
situation,
saying.
If someone wants to do that, I can understand why they jump to that conclusion and be like, yo, I'm a believer
You
from
can
the jump.
understand it.
And it's
Does
like, yo,
that mean it's
I'm not saying
the
it's
right
right.
way to
Also-
go
also-
about
I'm
it?
not saying it's right.
one of the
but I
big-
understand why people do that.
And also, not for none, the context
Obviously, I
of
understand
the big thing about this is that like most sexual assault cases that happen are not reported. So when a woman comes out, more likely than not, that shit happened because the chances of the shit that a survivor has to go through to come out against her, their abuser, because survivors can look like anything. But what a survivor has to do and go through when it comes to outing their abuser, bro. There's a reason why 1 in 3 women go through are sexually assaulted and don't report it.
Yeah, bro, and a
Wait,
lot
is
of
it
the
1 in
times
3? Is it 1 in 3 women you know?
yeah,
Is that the statistic?
it gets unsolved. There's what's it called? There's rape kits that never that just stay there
Never
for
get
years that
processed.
don't
Exactly. So
bro,
the
I'm with you. Like I
so for
really
me-
do not want to make it seem that like this is not an issue. This is very much an issue. You feel me? I'm just saying in general, like with anything, I
It's
think
like-
it's dangerous, especially because now there's not the court of just the court, the law, but it's the court of public opinion, and you can get crucified with the court of public opinion before information ever even comes
Last
out.
question I want to ask you.
What's
when
up?
do you make a decision for yourself?
When do I make a decision? When there's more information, at least enough information where I can say, like for example,
You just don't want to be wrong.
no, that's not
Or
true.
like you think that it's more dangerous to be wrong. in those
That's not
moments.
true. Now look, let's look at like
I think it's dangerous not to choose a side.
Let's look
as well.
at the Megan Tory situation, right? If I can originally say, and I don't want to get deep into right, but I'm just saying I can originally be like I'm reserving judgment till there's more information, and then you see more information coming out, and then you start to paint. I don't know everything, but I'm leaning toward Tory did that shit based off of how he defended himself or the things that are coming out from that. 'Cause as more information comes along, and I might still be wrong, but
Maybe.
I'm also not actively like crucifying him either. I just have a judgment, and what I do it is what I do with it. But I'm not going and saying, yo, fuck that guy. Like,
And so I
don't
think the
know.
disconnect here really is not in that people are not reserving their judgment, but is that you feel like they don't wait long enough. And you could just
Yes.
say that.
yes, that
Because like you
too.
could tell that like people because if it
Look,
was
you
that they
wait
weren't,
long enough for more information. That's
but that's
the
what I'm
point.
saying is that they wait
Naturally with
long
time.
enough for them. They're not waiting long enough for you. That's the issue.
I didn't
you
say
feel like
that.
they should wait
I'm
longer.
saying people do with
You're
no
not saying
information.
it. You're not saying it in those words, but you're saying like because the evidence, right? It's like, yo, there was only so many people in the car. Only so many people in the car had a gun. One person got shot.
And
one
he's not outwardly
And so
saying,
I'm saying like
he's
that
not-
for
he
a
didn't
lot of
do it.
people though, that's enough information. For me, that's enough information. I don't need to know anything more than that.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's information though. I'm saying
Yeah.
there's people with no.
But that's the first
basis,
thing we
bro.
found. That's the first thing we heard. That's the first piece of
that's one
information we
situation.
heard.
I'm talking
Nigga,
about.
that's the only thing we do.
That's
Also,
what
I
I'm
feel like a
saying.
lot of people who are quote unquote jumping to
No, but
conclusions
it-
are other people who have
The
suffered.
headline
or
could be
seen
like, this
suffered
person accused
survivors.
this person, and you don't know anything beyond. There was just an accusation.
And then we're like, oh, so she says that he shot her.
I'm
right.
not talking about just that
But
situation.
in a situation where it's like he said that this person, or she said, whoever it is, the survivor says that this person did this to them.
yeah,
So then you're saying you should reserve judgment
until there's more
until there's more information as
For
opposed
sure.
to just supporting them off jump.
Yeah,
Even though like
That's
your
what I'm
support
saying.
of that person doesn't necessarily mean crucifying the other person. It doesn't mean tearing anyone down.
yes, no, but oftentimes.
But I'm not
it
saying that. I'm not
goes
talking
to
about
tearing
oftentimes.
people
Talking about
down.
you. Talking
I'm
about you
talking about right
specifically.
now.
Yeah, what's up?
In those moments, you feel me? When that happens,
Yeah.
me and Dom are saying that, and I think Yves is saying a similar thing, where it's like we'll support the survivor or the person who's like accusing the other person off rip, not because we think they're right, but because we know like the information and the basis of like our community. You feel me? And why it's important to stand with those people off rip so that they can get further, if it's true. Not worrying about if we're wrong, because if we're wrong, we can easily just be like, oh, my fault, I'm sorry.
wrong.
And then whatever happens after that, happens after that. Like we said, if his friend was like, oh, you stood with this person, you didn't fuck with me, and be like, all right, that's okay, you're right. What am I saying? You're lying,
That's
I didn't?
facts.
No, I
Yeah,
did.
exactly.
I understand that. That's respectable. More power to you. You feel me? I'm not mad about that because that's based on my actions. It is what it is. It might hurt, but it is what it is. You feel me? No problem with that. There's also no problem admitting that I was wrong. You feel me? So I feel like it's not that big of a deal. I think that one of the reason why I brought up the internet earlier, and the reason why I thought it was important that you brought that up specifically is because like you are not in the room with the people that are coming to these conclusions. So you don't know their entire like process of like information gathering and all that stuff. It's just what you see on the internet the same way that you're saying like this the court of public opinion and it's like the internet specifically, they're just jumping to conclusions or they're just jumping on one side and the other stuff. It's like you don't know those
Because
people individually, so you just don't know.
How you describe what you and Dom are doing is actually very tame in comparison to what goes on in social media, and we're not going
We shouldn't be talking about.
But it's words.
But
It's
that's
like
what
literally just people
that's what you
typing
see,
on the
bro.
street. Like I'm not saying
And-
that's
and-
not.
What does that
I'm not
do
saying that's
to-
not
No,
harmful.
No,
but I'm saying that doesn't change law cases.
that becomes our reality over
Whose
time,
reality?
bro.
Not
not
the
yours,
reality.
it's not
The
mine,
victim.
it's not
It's
yours.
survivor.
It's society.
we've already-
But I surround myself with people who actually critically think,
and that's
bro.
all
You
that
feel me?
really should
That's
matter though.
no, because as we and that's also another conversation I want to have with just like how deep shit is getting deeper into what the
But at the
internet.
end of the day, I know you don't let the internet think for you.
No. And I'm saying it gets dangerous because the internet becomes our reality as we move forward. Now, the conversation I wanted to also have with niggas was the whole AI. The
Artificial
AI,
intelligence.
the
You
AI
said
generation. I'm talking about like
AI.
I'm like, what happened to AI?
no,
What
like,
happened to
the
that?
AI generated photos.
Alan,
Where like I remember you tweet you quote tweeted like basically an AI created images of black women.
Yeah.
And obviously
oh, and
you
like
know-
that punk scene shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Shit, that shit was crazy.
And you can see like
Initially.
if you do actually like
If you really
look
like,
at it,
yeah,
you'll
there's-
see
yeah,
that there's mess up.
absolutely.
But initially,
But
I was like,
imagine
oh, cool.
when the technology gets to a point where you can't even tell
Recognize
the
it.
difference, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I'm talking. Like they're trying to make the metaverse like
Fakes and all
they're
that.
putting billions of
That's what I'm
dollars into the
saying.
metaverse to make the internet a reality. I cannot say we can no longer pretend like there's a separation, bro. When they're
You know what I
they're
find weird,
actively
too?
making it, they want it to be the same thing. They actually want us to
A
disconnect
lot
us
of
from
tweets
reality.
lately. I don't know if you've been peeping it. I've been seeing it more recently in the update on Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Under it, it'll be like, oh, like more information about this post, and like they'll like
Yeah,
present you
facts.
things like to make it to prove what is
Fact
false about
checking
whatever
it,
it is
yeah.
that you're seeing.
That's
right? Like,
responsible, yeah.
fact checking it. But it's like, who's to say you're even right? You feel me?
You gotta
Like,
do the research. But
'cause
it's
like-
dangerous when now the shit's getting manipulated, bro. You could like, that's crazy.
No, that shit makes me mad nervous, bro. Like they
Remember when they did the AI rapper and he
that
saying
was like
the
2
N-word?
months ago.
Like,
Gunna.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
I was gun on that song.
No, the thing is,
say-
that's Gunna made that
That's
song
nuts.
ages ago. That song is like it's
Word?
like a year and some change
I didn't
old.
even know that.
But this you streamer bought the rights to it and then got this
Put the
AI rapper
AI
on
on
it. Yeah.
So I'll say this, right?
Free Gunna.
Like when I'm thinking about all the different stuff that we're talking about now with like AI and all this other stuff, like I think we also have to ask ourselves is like, how can these things be utilized as like a tool in order to like propel like whatever it is that we care about at the same time? Feel me? Because like you know that people are artists, you feel me? One of the biggest things in the music industry right now is like bots and like streams, all this other stuff. You feel me? It's like I seen a tweet earlier today where they're like, go to the Don Toliver, like his I said that to you?
yeah,
I
his
just-
YouTube
yeah.
video is
Like
just
go to his
filled
post,
with
I didn't
and
have
it
a
was
chance
just
to
like
actually look. I
bots,
didn't have the chance to really
bots,
look into
Bro,
it.
bots.
all of
like-
the basketball pages, if you look at what they're posting, bro, all of the comments are, you're so sexy, you're so sexy,
Yeah,
DM
bro.
me, DM me.
or just emojis, just
Yeah.
straight emojis.
Facts.
Like,
That's what it was for the Don Toliver. It was random emojis. That shit was wild. And it's like that shows like that in some cases like this can be used in a way that's like meaningful for like a specific type of thing. It's not saying that's
What's
a
the
good
meaning
thing.
in
what's
that?
there's
What's
nothing
meaningful
meaningful
about
about
The
that.
meaning about it is that it keeps someone like it keeps the artist afloat. I'm not saying that it's like I'm not saying that's a good thing or a
Falsely.
bad thing.
For how
Facts.
long?
I'm not
It's
saying
not
that's a good thing.
sustainable.
I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I personally don't agree with it, and I don't think it's sustainable.
It's not.
But I think it's a means of like gaining traction, right? Because even with that, right, nigga was saying
Fraudulent.
it is fraudulent.
It is, yeah.
It is fraudulent.
I can't co-sign
agree.
that at all.
It's not. I don't
You can
co-sign
say
it
the same
either.
shit.
Like
I
I
mean,
said,
It's
I
not
don't
about
think it's-
co-signing,
not
but
to say the
understanding the
same
strategy
exact
behind
Exactly.
it.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. It's like, how can this be used to our advantage?
Exactly.
That's what you got to start thinking about. Because as scary it
I
is,
feel
it's like
like-
it's only going to be scary if you let it just daunt you. You feel me?
You're gonna run
Like
into more.
getting ahead of the
You're gonna run
curve
into more
and
and more
shit, and-
instances of artists signing deals and getting advances and shit like that. And when it comes to them recouping that money, they're not actually performing. They're not gonna be making actual ticket sales and all that. And now you're in debt.
Your girl.
Now you're in debt to a label. You're not making any
You
money.
have to clarify when
Like,
you start
what the
shouting
fuck?
my
Saweetie.
girl.
Not
Saweetie,
your girl,
yeah.
but like
I know what he meant.
one of your favorites.
I knew what he meant when he said that. Like,
One of
Saweetie,
your
you-
favorites.
What, she did
Saweetie.
2,000 sales?
2K
2,000, like
sales,
2K,
yeah.
like
That's
now what?
13 million
Like-
followers on the
Wait, who-
gram.
Saweetie.
She dropped the EP.
Hey man,
So it's
listen,
like-
It did
listen.
2,000.
I don't
And the
know.
thing is,
It's a
I'm
dangerous
not-
game to
I
go
don't
that
want to
route.
clown Sweetie for this.
Shout out
That's not the
Sweetie.
conversation I
It's a
want to
very
have.
Congratulations, sweetie. You
I
did
think
amazing.
it shows the problem with.
Don't
I
lie
think,
to
I think
No, she did not.
we should have.
Sorry.
We should have opened
Hey,
the.
if I
the
sell
stri-
2,000 records, I'm doing amazing.
no, that's
That's
bad,
you.
bro.
You're not Sweetie.
I think you could sell 2,000 records. I'm not gonna hold you.
Sweetie
bro.
got like 15 million followers.
And I don't want to take the time to clown her for that. You feel me? Like it's unfortunate. She
clowning
should
her
work
right
on
now.
her
It's
craft,
just
or
really
she should either
presenting
work
facts.
on the craft or work on curating a fan base.
I think she should
or
go a different
she
route.
should just go a different route. Because the
Exactly.
reality is,
She's a celebrity at the end of the day.
it's-
She's a celebrity more than a rapper.
it's the issue with the music business, bro.
Hustler of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that?
Forgot she
Don't
won and she
bullshit.
was nominated.
She won.
Bro,
She
bro,
won.
I'm not gonna lie.
She hustled
I'm
niggas
mad-
for sure.
Sweetie was really a
She fell
hustler,
off
bro.
since then, though.
I met Sweetie, and side note,
You met Sweetie?
I met Sweetie, bro. She's
What did she
actually
smell like?
beautiful.
I'm joking.
I shook her hand, bro. It was just lotion. Just
It was just
It
lotion.
was just great.
What was
she's
this?
so fine. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
I
where
feel
was
like-
this?
Let me get to that, bro. God, she's so fine. I'm playing. Nah, it was her and her A&R were doing one of those talks. I think it was at either Harvard or BU, like the JID
Hustler.
or JIDK shit.
Hustler.
Mm.
She at Harvard?
Exactly. Her and her. No, I don't know. I can't remember if it was Harvard or BU. It might have even been Northeastern. I get all them
It's
shits
probably
confused.
Harvard.
No lie. But was there. That was actually the first time I met and there was what's her name? Maya Thornton. I think her name's Maya Thornton. Their name is Maya Thornton, R&B singer. There was a select number of artists who were gonna play their tracks for Saweetie and Ishan Bolden. Not gonna lie, I don't know how much that actually helped either of those artists, because not gonna lie, the type of music that is making, for me personally, I'm not looking for a Saweetie to critique that. Not even to listen to it, to critique that. Like the things that is saying and the way that they craft their music is in a completely different lane than Saweetie is. So for me, I just didn't understand it. But it was still a really cool moment to see two really, really talented Black women get some type of recognition. It was weird though, because it's like,
and talented to me don't go hand in hand, bro.
it was
I'm not
strange.
gonna,
Talented
like
in
she's
different
talented,
ways.
but I don't think she's talented as a musician.
She's a
or an artist.
businesswoman.
Sure, yeah.
That's
I
not-
agree
Also,
with you.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. She
Yeah, I guess I can't say she's entertaining.
Yeah,
I
she's
was about to say
definitely.
that's
she's
so
entertaining.
icy shit. That's so icy shit. It's hard, bro.
No,
Well,
but
what's the first? Say the first bar, please.
Nigga, I don't know that song. like I know
Nah, that
of the
shit's hard.
memes.
Nah, I gotta.
I don't
play
know
that
the
shit.
song though. I know of the memes.
I think
though.
it's a bigger issue with the.
I'm a
with-
Glacier
with
Boy
the-
or some
with
shit.
the music label though.
I'm glad you so icy.
No, don't do that, please. Because I want to have a bigger conversation. Because that's not the only thing that happened in the music sphere. You feel me? We had Lotto who
Real nigga.
got 130
Real
tracks
nigga.
leaked, and there were reference tracks
So,
that,
yeah, what's
that's
the-
been shopping around
Wait,
with
wait,
other
wait,
female
but
artists.
Why was that such a big deal?
Because Nicki
Wait, hold
Minaj
on.
was talking shit and she was saying, nigga, we use some of the same writers, so relax. And then she was like, I'll leak the shit myself. I don't give a fuck because I have proof that I write my lyrics. Niggas, no, ain't nobody
what?
ever seen you write.
Wait, what?
Wait, hold on.
That's where it came from, is that Nicki
Lotto
Minaj
or
was
Nicki
saying,
was saying that.
Nicki Minaj was saying that
Y'all
Lotto
don't
doesn't.
write? Yeah.
She was like, oh, you don't write your own lyrics. She was like, neither do you. But people have seen me write. Like I was literally on a TV show writing my own shit. Niggas been
Okay.
seeing me write forever.
And
So-
Lotto's saying this.
Yeah, and she's saying, but no one's ever seen you
You're
write
saying
anything.
Who do you think leaked it?
Lotto leaked it because
Are
she's
you
saying.
sure about that? I don't
Yes.
think that's
I
the
wouldn't be
case.
surprised.
Even if she didn't leak it, she said in those tweets, she was like, I'll leak it myself if I need to.
But
Like, I don't
she was
care.
not responsible for that leak.
Even if she wasn't
and-
responsible for the leak. That's not what I'm saying though. That had nothing to do
And
with
there's
what I'm
two
saying. I'm
ways-
just saying that she said that she would leak it. I'm
No,
not saying that she
It's
did.
interesting that you said that though, because there's two ways to view the reference
never
tracks that she has, right? There is like
We know Nicki Minaj don't write
What's
her own
so
lyrics
bad
though.
about
no, P.
That she lies. That they lie about it.
Because that's been
Is
Nicki's
she
biggest
lying or
argument
she
when it
just
comes to this
not-
female
She's
rapper
lying.
shit.
She said
She
she
has
writes.
said I only write my own shit. She
Yes.
said
No,
that.
that's all she says.
For like the last since Cardi B has come out in like 2017, 26, like the whole era, bro, her whole thing was I write my lyrics. Like
Fine.
Cardi B had to
Okay.
go on
And
a,
it's
like a
like-
defending had to defend herself to be like Dr. Dre didn't write his own, like all these like she had to defend herself because it was Nicki
But
talking
also,
about.
but Cardi never said that she wrote her own shit.
Exactly.
She never
I was
stood
about to
on
say,
that.
she never said like, you know how many
But that's what I'm
No, she
saying is
did.
that
She did
male
it.
artists
No,
have
facts,
ghostwriters
facts.
and shit like
But
that.
regardless of that, we're not-
Future
But this
reference
is
tracks I
worse.
heard Kanye referencing shit for
Baby
Travis
Kim.
to do. I'm
Of
like,
course,
yo, niggas
of
do
course.
this shit all
Wait,
the
So
you
you
were
were
time.
just-
but
so
her
basically,
do y'all
thing
recognize
was
this
that
is
she
worse though?
doesn't.
Do y'all recognize this is worse? Like these reference tracks aren't proving that like Lotto's writing this for other. It's proving that
Someone
there's,
wrote it and
There's a
there's,
group
like-
of writers that's shopping these songs to all these female artists.
It's the game,
and
bro.
like,
It's been a game
and
for the
Meg Thee
last
Stallion's
20
boyfriend is one of them. What's his
Party.
name?
Yeah,
Party.
Party
That nigga
Vaughn.
has mad hits on his name.
So
Well,
so that's
not on his name,
that's the
but-
point with the music business now, right? It's
What's
like
wrong with that?
this is where we have the Saweetie problem, where it's like these people aren't actually art. I'm not gonna say all of them, but a lot of times they're not actually artists. They just look great, or they can be marketed well.
been
and
like
that- and
Great.
it's been like
She looks
that.
great.
They look great.
It's been like
I
that.
didn't
When
want to
a label will
objectify them,
see,
but yeah.
and especially with groups. You look at the
You know
pop
who's
industry.
great?
They'll
Tinashe.
take a bunch of young
Shout out
people, be
Tinashe.
like, okay, you look good on camera, you could dance well. We'll put you all together. We'll take care of the rest. Just perform.
And you don't see why that's a bad thing for the
No,
music
that's how it's
business?
always been.
It's always been like that. But,
I mean, so
but
I
360
think
deals
I've
have always
seen
been like
that
that
more
too.
and more
in
I
rap
feel
now.
you.
Hold up, does that mean 360 deals are good because they've always been there?
We never
No,
said it
bro.
was good or bad. We
I'm
just
just
said it's
saying
always
it's
been
a
like that, so we don't
detriment
care.
to the art, bro.
But what we're saying is that we
Is
don't
it
care.
surprising or is it disappointing?
It's disappointing because
But
we've
we've
seen where
been new. Not
music has
everybody's
been,
in
bro.
this shit for the art though.
So now we talking about the AI. Now we talking
Hold on,
about
hold on,
they're
hold
on.
making,
I mean, no,
they're
bullshit.
making
I
up
do-
numbers now.
I do.
And they're
hear-
grabbing anybody off the street.
But
my
why you
nigga.
not? Why you not
Like-
upset about all the other niggas who aren't doing necessarily
I'm
things
not
for the
upset
art?
about that. I don't get on this pod all the time and
He
talk
does.
about how
It's
people
track. He's
disrespect the
staying
art, bro.
consistent.
But he be contradicting himself because he be like, I'll
He
still
does.
bump it though.
That'd be consistent
Damn.
too.
I'm still a fan of them.
No, I mean,
Hey,
nothing.
you was
I-
bumping that Don Toliver shit, and are you a bot?
Bro, am I mad at him? I didn't say
man, yo.
anything.
So
They're
my
not
thing is like I definitely understand. Like for me, it's nuance. So it's like I agree with both sides. Like yes, something has been going on. Well, we can recognize something that's going on. We can also recognize the harm that it's doing. Because yes, even though like shout out Saweetie, she's a hustler, a successful black woman
Of
at the end of
the
the day.
year.
Of the hustler, you know, which year we don't know.
The
but,
hustler.
like it's still like it sucks because like this is what I was talking about with like the chamber and shit. Like it's dope to see a real MC get the recognition when we have a lot.
Shout out
of,
Trevo.
Yep, shout out Trevo.
Facts.
Shout out Nate Nicks.
Yeah, facts.
It's dope. For me, it's always fire when I see real like skilled artists get recognition. And
Like, it's
I
not
can
like
feel- I
there's
hear what
not
you mean. I hear what
mad
you mean.
female artists that are super talented making their own music, bro.
But are they
these
making
are-
hits like
I
that?
feel like they are though. No,
They could be. It's clearly it's just being shopped to them, like shopped around. It's not like these people are the ones creating these hits,
Hey.
bro.
Lotto had a hit on her album Sunshine, and I heard that shit on the radio a couple times, but I feel like it didn't like go beyond.
I haven't no lie. I'm gonna be
You think she
honest.
wrote that?
Even the big song. What's the big song? The
Big Energy?
Big Energy.
That sounds
I don't-
annoying.
I
but
don't
it's
know.
kinda-
I've never
it
heard that
kinda
song. I'm
goes.
gonna be honest. I've never heard that song. Even I don't really be on TikTok like that.
It's not the best.
But like,
And that's not to
It
shit.
kind of goes though, but
That's
it's
not
the
to shit
best.
on
It's not
Lotto.
the-
I'm just
No.
scared of like the music industry. Like it's just
actually, I've heard
Music
real bitch
is-
from the south. That's
music-
just hard. That's just
that
hard.
is a hard song. But music is just a joke now, bro. It's a joke now,
Why
bro.
don't you drop then?
I was about to say, bro.
Yo, if I
game.
drop, bro,
save
if
the
I
game,
drop,
bro.
it's out the love of the game, bro. I promise you, it's
think-
not because I actually want to be a
How you
part
love
of
the game if the game's broke?
nasty
Well, I
ass
say,
game.
how you
You
love
see
the
what
game
they
if the
did in
game
Meek Mill,
dying?
bro? You seen what they did in Meek?
What they do to me?
Nigga, what did Meek do to Meek when he was fucking? He was like, he was taking that picture in the fucking.
Honestly, bro,
in
You
the
seen
mirror.
the picture?
The more I heard, the more
you seen
and
his
more I see
his
Meek,
bro,
the more like, I can't fuck with this nigga, bro.
bro, no bullshit.
He is
Meek is
funny.
Meek
He's
is
a funny
hilarious,
ass
and two,
nigga.
He is funny
Meek
as
is one of my favorite rappers.
But the
bro.
thing
I
is, he be
fucking
dead
love Meek
serious.
Mill, bro. He be dead.
Like, he's dead serious.
The photo
But
with
it's
his
just
fries
funny.
and the Louis V shorts.
Yeah, that's
Hilarious,
bad.
bro.
That shit was bad.
The
bro.
hopping, it's crazy. But I
Nah,
still
that was bad. That's
Nah,
not
nah.
even like
Yeah.
You
that's
can't be. Cause you seen his explanation for the picture?
of the fries.
No. When he's like in the mirror.
Oh no, what did
He's
you say?
just like, this is how happy I feel. I know I could buy the whole store. It's like, I feel you.
I fuck with that. The
I
thing is,
think
Meek
that's
Mill-
how you feel, my nigga,
It's because Meek
whatever.
Mill's
That's
too
corny.
tall to be doing that shit, bro. Meek Mill too tall to be doing shit like that. Uzi could do some shit like that because Uzi's like 5'5" on a good
What
day.
is-
Actually,
but
I don't
like-
know how tall Uzi is. But.
I don't know, bro. The nigga just being goofy, bro. It's like, if you
That's
want
what
to
I'm
be
saying.
goofy,
That's funny.
be goofy. Go
But, like,
ahead.
he
I'm not
just
saying
said-
tell the nigga
all
not
the
to be.
goofy shit aside, bro. 11 million in 10 years is wild. Like
11
his
million, 10
deal
years.
was terrible. I can't explain it. Maybe he
To-
put himself
to
in that
Ross?
situation.
Well, no.
Yeah,
Because
no,
MMG still signed to who, though?
MMG's a joint venture
With
with
what company?
Warner.
Warner. Okay.
Hey man, fuck it.
I'm
Shout
just
out
saying
Meek Mill,
he was
bro.
making 13 cents on the dollar.
It's crazy.
It's more than me.
You see, he had that
And now
tweet.
look at that. It's
I was about to
worse.
say,
Now
shit.
they're just like, yo, we'll
making
give
like
you
800 times as much as I'll make it on the dollar, bro.
But these are the deals that they still giving out, bro. They're like, yo, you don't got to do nothing. We'll give you all the songs. We'll give you these bots. We'll make it look like you hot.
You jealous?
And we'll own all this shit.
Are you
I'm not jealous at all, bro.
So what's the problem? Why we still talking about this? I feel
But
like,
then there's also-
we
there's
know
also-
it's a
look
problem.
at the
We know
light that
it's
we
bad.
talk
There's
about
also
hip-hop
mad
in.
artists
I feel
who
you.
have
We know
the light
control
that
of
we
this
talk
shit.
about hip hop in, bro.
Yeah, bro, we know it's bad. We know, but it's like at the
It's
end of
been
the day,
bad
it's
since
like,
the 90s, bro, when this shit
That's
got
not true.
exported. Huh?
you was there,
No, contract negotiations have always been bad, bro. Like
Yeah,
always.
and the writing has been
But-
bad too. It's
But the
always been
music
like
is
that.
always not all of the music, but there was substance in
Sound like a
majority of
old
the
head, bro.
music.
No,
I
shit.
am old,
bro.
I
I feel
am
like, bro,
old
You just
head,
not-
nigga.
I
I
You
love
love your
that
time.
Yeah,
I love
I
the
think
you're not
you love the
substance in
game.
music.
He love the game. But you the
This
you
was
the
going
nigga that
to
be getting on.
happen
You the one that be
eventually.
talking about Drake this, Drake that, and be getting on me for fucking with Black Thought.
This is
So
going
it's
to
like,
happen
is
eventually,
it really
bro.
about substance? Is it really about that, or is it really just about that you don't like
'Cause the
seeing
niggas who
people
stand
that
out
night
will
Why
stand
you
stand
want
out?
to fucking with
The
Black
niggas who
Thought?
stand out will
I-
stand
I-
out.
I said Black
This
Thought
nigga
was
be like,
bad
oh,
too.
this nigga listens to Black Thought and most def.
I
First
be
of
ju-
all,
I be
I couldn't
jumping.
even.
Black
Most
Thought one of the
definitely,
best
those are two of the
rappers
greatest
ever.
rappers
No,
of
no,
all
no,
time.
they're
I'm saying, I
Yo,
literally learned breath control from Black
Yo,
Thought.
the lyricism's amazing, bro. I personally think it's boring, but
I feel
can
you, but
never
that's what
take
I'm
that
saying.
away from
This
it.
is what-
I
this is
can
what's-
never
this is what's
deny the
interesting,
talent,
though.
bro. I can
But
never
this is what
deny the
people find
talent,
is
bro.
interesting. Would you rather people be talented and boring, or not talented and interesting? What do you prefer? You prefer the game to be the game, or do you prefer the game to be a fucking?
bring it up.
Do you prefer chess or checkers, my nigga? Come
I'm just
on.
confused because like, why are you acting like it's just not both? It's always been both.
It's always both.
It's always
I
been
agree.
both.
That's what. But I've said consistently, bro. You have to say fly shit and be a lyricist. That's why I love the Jay-Z's and the Drakes. That's why
Don't
I,
put Drake in there.
And that's what I just said, bro. The stand
Don't put
up.
Drake next to
the
Jay-Z.
stand up-
Don't
the
put
stand
Drake
up-
next to Jay-Z.
You got
as
the
far as being
Jay-Z's,
fly.
somebody the Drakes.
Facts. No,
I don't
I
need-
feel
I
you,
don't
but
even
like,
wanna do
this, bro.
That's
I
like
don't-
it went from like to like. Come on,
y'all
you
put
know
me-
Jay's
y'all
one of
put
the
me in this
greatest.
boat ever.
You know Jay's
What are
one
we
of the
not including
greatest, and
him
then
in?
going
Jay
to
got
Drake.
misses too, bro.
Man, we talked
Worse
about this
misses
last
than
week.
Drake, dude.
You know what I mean? I'm all for
But
that.
I'm not doing that. See, I'm
feel
not
you.
doing
You
this
got
this
Jay
episode.
Z, you got Nav, bro. There's just so
Shut
much.
the fuck up. Nav has
Bro, the
never
Brown
made
Boy, who
5
putting on
a.m.
for the
in
Brown Boy?
Toronto.
Who putting on like the Brown
Nav
Boy,
has
bro?
never made 5 a.m. Toronto or Tuscan Leather
Nah,
or
he made
The Ride.
He made myself though,
That's a great song,
Me,
but that is
Myself.
not lyrically.
bro. He said when I'm sober,
Hey man.
what was it? I don't
Nigga
feel like
Nav
myself.
put
I
off
felt
his
Nigga, I
that.
did not know that song.
Nav
bro.
put on
When
his
he said
people.
when I'm sober, I just don't like who I am.
It's
Damn,
real, Felt that?
Damn, I know a lot of fiends felt that. A lot of
all
fiends
right.
felt that.
Well, we can talk about. I feel like we could continue talking about this. You know what I
All day,
mean? But
I'm
just
sure.
know. Shout out Saweetie, man.
Shout out, Saweetie.
Let's talk about saturation,
That's a fact.
because that's what I'm interested in talking about. I listened
I'm
to
sorry
it.
that it took this long to get to this
Hey,
point.
bro, I love the conversation.
But
Hold on,
the-
before we go, shout out Valid. Shout out Valid.
Shout
the
out
good
to
demon.
Nico Valid. If
Nico
y'all
Valid,
remember
Nico
when we had
Valid.
Breach Mob on Bad for the Community, he's out here making Coquito.
Coquito, yes sir.
This shit is bomb. This shit
Yes.
This shit tastes
No
like
bullshit.
if you got Auntie Anne's cinnamon pretzels and squeezed it into liquid form. Crack.
It's good.
It's great.
It's
It's great.
great.
It's great. Great. Salud. Valid.
Salud.
It's hip hop.
Salud. It's hip hop.
No
Coquito's hip
bullshit.
hop.
Coquito is hip hop. But yeah, man, you know what I mean? Let's talk about saturation, man.
Let's do it.
So
You just dropped consider EP or album.
I don't want to say it's an EP. I'm gonna just say at this point everything I drop is an EP until I get signed to a
Why?
label. Because I'm not. It's a
You know what,
mindset
Nate-
thing. Because I want to be like, I just dropped my first album. Go get that.
You
And
know
I
what
want to
Nate,
have that
you know how
moment.
Nate feels about the whole like album versus EP. It
I know
means
you-
that
yeah.
he doesn't think you took it serious enough. You didn't call it an album.
Nah, none of that. At
I
all.
know you took it seriously. That's why I'm wondering why you're not calling the album.
So because I want to have I want to have this like.
That could be your label debut, and
That's
this could
what I'm
be
saying.
an album still.
I feel you.
It ain't a studio album.
Because
But it is a studio album because you was in the studio recording it.
I was in the, I will say,
So
I
it's
will
a
say,
different-
I'll call, I'm going to do, let's just drop the plans now. I'm going to make a Saturation 2 eventually. That one I'll probably do as an actual album because I will say, I want to be a little more in depth with the blending of instruments on the second project because I felt like there was a lot of blending of instruments post creation. Like I was able to blend a lot of these sounds. Obviously,
Explain
'cause-
what these sounds are.
drill and house and club music, no lie, a little bit of pop music in there too. But I'm gonna be a little more particular in the sense that like for example, Let Me Know and the original plan was for there to be a drill song and a house song back to back that use the same exact sample. And me and Izzy, shout out Izzy, shout out Call My Wave. We like the last drill song was
Y'all
gonna
working
be
on that for a minute. I remember that.
since summer 2021, bro.
And I want to be clear that like Dom's not hopping on the house wave because you seen Beyonce and Drake do it recently, and now people are hopping on
Facts.
that wave. Like you've been working on this since last year.
I'm not going. I mean, I definitely hopped on the house. There wasn't a wave to begin with because house music has existed for so long, so it's not like a trend or nothing.
I feel like now there's a wave.
There is. I mean, there's a trend to make house sounding music. A lot of it isn't actually house music though. Like it's just you're using a couple of the same instruments, but it's not the same. But I will say, like, I fell in love with house music last year because I was just listening to so much music at the time that like summer 2021, 2021 in general, like I feel like I'd always been into mad music, but I listened to so much pop, indie, and house music throughout that year that I was just like, I have to like there's just like an urge to create something like this. And originally I was never gonna share it, but shit just sounded good. It was good enough that I was like, yo, I believe I could like do something with this. And just going from there, that's kind of where it really started. Like the first house song I made was actually, I think it was Wanna Party, and I recorded it here.
Mm-hmm.
She said she told me she wanna party and tequila and Picard, that shit. Yeah, I don't know what was the original question. I feel like I'm just going off.
No, I was just asking about it was about the styles and like, and now I'm like, I guess what that leads me to is to ask why drill music in the house why infuse those two styles together when I feel like they're very different.
I feel like
they give you different vibes, especially because drill music that's not how you use. I mean, I'll let you explain it.
It kind of provoke the same feelings, nigga. Make niggas want to move and dance, nigga.
Nah, but drill music is more aligned with like violence.
I don't be want to dance when I hear
in terms of the lyrics. We're talking about production right now.
Like, ooh.
Yeah, but like just what we've seen in drill music, like.
So when it comes to that, like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Well, because like me as a human being, bro, like I've grown so much and like had to understand that like everything in this world has nuance. Like there's no piece of this universe doesn't have nuance. And for me, growing up, bro, like I'm Mexican, like I identify heavy with my indigenous roots, but at the end of the day, I'm mestizo. So I'm literally a mutt. Like mestizo is like Latinos, and I don't even, we're gonna get into that another time, but like essentially it's Latinos, for lack of a better word, Latinos who are essentially are mixes of indigenous Native Americans, Native South Americans, black slaves who were brought over, and white people, colonizers.
I'd rather you say that than call yourself a mutt, bro. Don't call yourself a mutt.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm not actually. One time the shorty asked me if I was biracial, and I was like, I'm not biracial, but I have mad races in me, technically speaking.
Biracial.
I don't. What?
I said diracial.
Diracial, triracial, quiracial, all that shit. Hi Rachel.
Hi Rachel.
Shout out Rachel. She do my hair. Rachel Glorious. But it's like from my existence in itself is mixed. Like everything I like about me is like the culmination of so many things. Like I said, my indigenous roots, my roots when it comes to the people who colonized me, the people who were enslaved. Like there's just so much that goes on with my life. So growing up, I was literally going from my cousins and my dad's crib, most of my cousins' crib, where back in Texas, where I'm surrounded by men and I'm surrounded by a lot of toxic masculinity. I'm surrounded by a lot of language and activity that's one, toxic masculinity, but also violence. Like I saw a lot of shit growing up, like when it came to my cousins trapping, when it came to like my cousins just doing shit. Like I'm not gonna say which one of my cousins was, but I remember in 6th grade being on the phone trying to figure out what's going on with my cousin because he was arrested for a home robbery. Like that's the type of environment I was like witnessing. And then I was going back to live with my mom, who has from the jump wanted me to be the polar opposite of my father, who was like, you know, just a stereotypical Mexican man, bro, always partying, you know, trapping crazy, like and shit like that. And from like all those seeds being planted into me, bro, like I loved listening to Depeche Mode growing up, which is like an 80s and 90s.
These niggas don't know about that.
They don't.
Depeche Mode. Come on now.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like a pop. Like
that's music.
Another like there's so much like pop music I was listening to from the 80s and 90s that my mom grew up on, and at the same time she was also exposing me to like Nas and shit. But like growing up, 50 Cent was my favorite rapper. 50 Cent literally is the inspiration for so much of like the drill scene right now, because his big song was How to Rob, where he was rapping about robbing the biggest rappers in the industry. Like his whole persona was like I'm that guy, I'm that man, I'm the one who runs the street, I'm the one who runs the block, and no one else can say nothing about it. And so I was seeing that so often with men in my family, and then I would go back home and I'd feel a lot more vulnerable and like more in tune with my emotions, to the point where there was one time where I was walking home from school listening to Say You Will, and I just started crying, bro. Say You Will by Kanye
Which
West.
version?
Huh?
Nah,
Yeah.
definitely not the. Come on, bro. You know which version, bro.
The one on 808.
The good one.
The good one. I literally was like a child crying to that shit because
Yeah.
I just felt how raw his emotions were, bro. It was crazy. I don't know.
It's good
Yo,
music.
just keep going, bro. Just let it rock, bro.
Anyways,
That's a good song.
it is a great
I
song.
think that's his best opening track.
It definitely, I feel like that's one of his best albums in general. Like it's just so like emotionally raw that it was like, damn. But then the song that played right after it, bro, was Many Men by 50 Cent. I remember it so vividly because I had tears in my eyes. And then I'm like, I feel like going and like destroying the world right now. Like I feel like when I heard Many Men, bro, I was like, I can't do. But ever since like that, it's literally been my childhood. Like the duality of vulnerability and non-vulnerability, the reality of like being peaceful with my mom and like having her preach me peace and preach me love and positivity, to going back. And obviously, my cousins aren't terrible people, bro. Like there's so many great people in my family who just happened to make decisions to survive that ended up being violent decisions. So I'm seeing that, and then I'm going back home where I'm a lot safer with moms. So everything is duality for me, bro. And I learned that a lot in college, bro, because there were just so many instances where shit was shoved in my face for me to understand that like this isn't black and white. Like you have someone like XXXTentacion, bro. For a really long time, I was like, nah, fuck that guy. But then I also listened to his music and also saw the impact he was having on people and young people all across the world. And like I can hold him accountable while also recognizing the impact that he did. It's like Malcolm X, for example. Malcolm X growing up was doing a lot of grimy shit. As it was Detroit Red, right? As Detroit Red doing a lot of grimy shit. He grew up to be literally one of the biggest revolutionaries of that time. And so for me,
is he
it's
doing
always
grimy shit, or he's just a flawed person?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's doing grimy shit as a flaw. Like the shit's still grimy, regardless of the context that it's in. Like the things
But
he
what's
was
specific?
doing.
Like
robbing white people.
I thought he was just doing like sex work and shit.
He was doing that too.
He was doing a lot of
That's
shit.
like that's personal.
But
Sex
there- it
work.
was a lot-
to
He was
set up
also
the
he was
robbery.
abusing. Fair to say he was also abusing a few people out there.
Yeah.
There
a
was- there was-
lot of the things that was
But that
happening
shit-
to
that-
Malcolm
he
was
was doing
like
that as an adult, too. Like,
he was
that's-
he had a lot of self-hate. Internalized hate.
Exactly. But like he's a perfect example because he is
hunk.
a complete nuanced creature from front to back, like side to side. So
Yeah.
That's a better description
That's
of
valid.
Malcolm X than LeBron did. But yeah,
because I read the book. Just saying.
fair to say.
So I think like it begs the question then, because I think like it's understandable like the two styles. You feel me? It's like two questions. One, like where do you want to go? Like where do you see yourself going from here? Like around this project. And then two, I know you wanted to talk about like the album cover and like you know what I mean, just the ins and outs of that and how it correlates to the rest of the project.
Absolutely.
Like you know what I mean. So
I'll start with the album cover because that's an easier question. Album cover is literally just
Can I throw in the questions that I've heard?
yeah, for sure.
The questions I've heard was one, if you're doing drill music, but you're not doing it in a way of that's promoting violence or anything like that,
I mean,
right?
yes and no. Even with the drill music, I'm like the duality's there because like on CC Chasing, bro, my line is I got a 41, my 41 and then I call it Jason, like Jason Tatum, bro. Like it takes one shot to kill you. That's it. But then on Funds, bro, I'm talking about my PTSD. I'm talking about the fact that like, even on Funds, bro, I talk about I'm sliding on my ops. I catch them like moss. They taking a loss, and then I start the verse was feeling traumatic and frantic, so I'm never static. Like I smoke to relax because I can't pass it. I cannot drive because I might crash it. Like there's a lot of shit that I'm talking about. Like even in the drill sound itself, because there's not one aspect of me that I'm going to present. I'm going to try to present all of it. And all of it is me. The violence is me. The pain is me. The peace in me. The love is me. The hate is me. The masculinity is me. The femininity is me. All of it is me.
So even hearing you speak about the duality, it starts to piece together in my mind why you do have the cross, like between you have a gun in one hand and then the roses in another hand.
Mhm.
So I guess I understand now what the duality of it. I feel like originally, you might think to yourself, is he just putting the gun in there to like just because it's fashionable, because it's stylistic? Because then is he claiming something that he's not? But I guess you explained it as well. But do you have anything else to add to that?
I mean, not for none. I claim what I am. I'm never gonna claim something that I'm not, just because like sincerity is the biggest thing for me. Like being who you are and not presenting a lie is super important, especially when hip hop is all about like genuine like shit. Like you have like authenticity is such an important piece in this hip hop shit. But even as a person, being authentic is super important to me. And then I feel I lost the last part of your question. Well, I mean, I'll just go into the cover art because
I was gonna say the second thing with the cover art was like the use of like all black women around you.
Yeah. Well, house music is a black queer art form, and there were a lot of black queer women in that cover art. I did it specifically because like obviously like for for a better word, Latinos have been a part of hip hop for a really long time, but we're still, even though we was there really, really close to the beginning, we're still guests to a certain extent, because so many of the original people who were Latinos in hip hop were ostracized from their own communities because of racism. So I know my place as not only a Latino in hip hop, but as a light-skinned man in hip hop. I might have very obvious features like my nose and my lips and my very dark hair that like make it known that I'm non-white. At the same time, there's still a level of privilege that I have that makes me a guest in certain spaces. And so for me, I'm always going to try to center, like, especially when it comes to house music, like I'm going to center these black women because like I've learned so much through them and from them. And like, it's the least that I could do making this art form to put them at the forefront of this. Like, that's what I really want to do. I wanted them I want I want the understanding that this is a black art form at the forefront of this at all times.
So I think like my question with that, right? Even thinking about like having like the black women on like the cover, like and how that correlates to the music itself. Like I get that it's like house music and that there's like a combination of like house and drill and like even like transitionary periods like in it. You feel me? And I think like what that leads me to like question is like, if you're really trying to put them at the forefront of like the work, it's like, why aren't there more of them on the project?
No, I feel you. I mean, not for none. Like that's definitely a valid criticism. For me, it's really hard for me to work with artists just because every artist has their own shit going on. Like the reason there's not a lot.
Very true.
The reason there's not a lot of features on the project is not out of a lack of effort, but it's out of a lack of like I just wasn't able to get them in the room for whatever reason. Like I originally like Cashew, for example. I wanted Cashew on goddamn every single song I make when it comes to this pop and house shit. Reality is Cashew can't do that because of her own life and the shit that she has going on. So that's definitely a critique that I'm like furthering on in the project. Because originally, like when I was making this with Izzy, I wanted the drill side to have almost every single track to have a woman on it. Like I wanted the drill side to have almost exclusively women when it came to features. Obviously, it ended up doing that because I only have one feature on the drill side. But I was actually working with a black queer artist and to put him on the house side. But for whatever reason, it didn't work out. And I'm not going to go into it. But like the reason there aren't as many features when it comes to centering black voices like that is because not out of a lack of effort, but it wasn't able to happen. When I do this shit again, I definitely want to do more. Cause
that's what I'm curious to know. Like with saturation too, how do you want to do it differently in that sense?
But also, are you planning on like murdering Kevin Abstract? Like, is that like the goal?
I'm not gonna lie.
Because like I see that Brockhampton is now like not a thing anymore.
Yeah, they're done now.
You feel me? It's just ended, but now you're dropping Saturation, and then Saturation 2's coming up.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, shout out Brockhampton, bro. I actually really forgot they had a Saturate. I forgot, like.
That's where the real bangers was. That's really why they got on the map.
Nah, no, for real. I definitely remember. Now thinking about it, I remember the Saturation series. For me,
they dropped 3 albums in the year. That shit was good.
That was shout out them. Shout out them. I mean, the Saturation for me was just like another like example of that I'm everything and everything at the same time. I'm everything and everything. Like everything is me and me is everything. Then going on, like back to the cover, like even when it came to the black women that like I was working with, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just one type a black woman. Like I worked with Shelly and Shamir, and I was like, I need to do this right, and I need to be able to like, because there's a very fine line between uplifting and putting people at the forefront and using them as an accessory.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that's something that
that's
I
the-
really, there's always going to be critique from me because again, I'm a light-skinned man in this space, and I'm always going to try to, I have to take that critique and I have to take that feedback. But I want people to understand that my intention is wholeheartedly to, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Obviously, I'm a human being. I make mistakes, I make flaws, but I'm going to do my best as a human being to make sure that it never gets to accessorizing and it always gets to uplifting and
So I
support.
want to ask you this, right? Do you feel like you find yourself questioning your decisions a lot in the process of creating something like this? Where it's like, yo, like, I know this is genuine and pure out of my own intentions, but how will someone else feel about this? So let me check in with this and check in with that and check in with that, considering your position.
No, I mean, I've had conversations about this a lot, like throughout this whole last year, because like I started talking a lot more about it after Drake came out. His Drake shit, the Honestly Nevermind came out, because a lot of people was like, yo, you just made this shit because you wanted to make it. You didn't actually honor any house artist type shit.
And that's something we brought up when we talked about Beyonce and the difference and how she actually, shined a light on house music and people who
in the history
contribute
type shit,
to it.
yeah. And like for me, like it was also leading up to the project. I had a conversation with Shamir and Steph about like actually going to like events where they play house music, like queer club events. Like, and so I haven't gone to a lot, but I've started going to them, especially to support Chalita's Alive. Shout out to Chalita, amazing DJ.
Right? Yeah.
They're brilliant. They're brilliant. They actually just put out another mix, I think, the other day. So go check that shit out. But like, even when it comes to like the space that I share, I want to make sure that like I'm going to these spaces and not letting them know, because it's not letting them know. It's I don't have to let my people know about my support. My support is going to speak for itself. So I want to like as an artist, everything is meticulous. Like everything is super calculated. Sometimes shit just happens. But even when on an artistic tip, like I'm always trying to be meticulous about it. I'm even more meticulous when you bring those other nuances and things that go along with this. So like making sure that while I'm making this art form that I love, I'm also acknowledging the fact that like one, I'm a guest, but that doesn't stop. The self-awareness is not the end all be all. It's making sure I'm going to these spaces and supporting them, not taking up space, uplifting them, and making sure that they can continue in like, regardless if I make the music or not.
Yeah.
And it's just like I said, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm not absolved of that shit. It's the name of the game. But at every avenue, I'm gonna do my best when it comes to making this music in general to uplift and honor those who came before me and those who are currently making it.
So where do you want to go from here?
I want to work with a lot more queer black artists when it comes to like the house side. Like I said, when it comes to the drill side, I want as many like femmes and black, like I want as many femmes on the drill side as possible when it comes to this shit. Just so like, again, like the whole concept of duality continues and shit. I want to be more particular about the instruments. I want to make sure that like track one and track like whatever like have some type of connection.
It's cohesion. Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel you.
There's definitely a sense of cohesion in here.
But it can be to another level, I feel you.
Exactly, because a lot of that cohesion came post-production type shit.
Yeah.
It was like, shout out Sammy. Sammy was able to like help me sequence a lot of the things and actually like rearrange some of the sounds at the beginning and ends of songs so they actually blend to each other. So I want to do that. I want to just continue to like use my platform to uplift folks. So like in any way that I can, whatever that means, whether it means give them a feature, pay them for their work, put them on the cover art, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have like a full, this idea is still coming to me, but I think I want to be, whatever I'm doing, I want to be even more purposeful than I already am, because I can always be more purposeful. I can always do more and shit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think the most important part is just being authentic in the way you're moving and like moving with that good intention. Not, you know what I mean? I'm hearing you say like how you want to, work with more black and queer artists or put more femmes on the music, but I wouldn't want you, and I'm not saying you're doing that, but to do it just to do it, or
absolutely,
but like moving with good intention and authentic, because that's truly the sound you're going for. Like, and you don't feel like it'd be complete without them.
No, thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what it is. It's not like, oh, I have I got a responsibility to put these people on. Like, yes, I have a certain responsibility.
Let
to
me
do
make
that,
sure I
but, like,
got the minminimum requirement
exactly.
number
It's
of
not
like
about,
this
it's not
type
about
of
checking
artist.
a box or
Okay,
checking
all
a
right.
list.
That's
It's
the most
about,
important
like,
thing. When I heard that, I just wanted to make
yeah,
sure.
I want to. Don't get it twisted. I've been wanting to work with these artists and these people for a really long time. So, and not like I said, the feature set. A lot of people have not taken me seriously when it comes to this music shit. So there was also an aspect of that it was like, how can I reach out to someone who doesn't take me seriously? Like, I can't. The reality is, I can't afford at that time. I couldn't afford to pay somebody for their feature, and I'm not gonna ask an especially established Black queer artist to do something for me off the strength when I've never done anything for them and they got no reason to do nothing for me. So hopefully moving forward, I'll have a little more funds for the second project so I can actually like engage with those artists and actually like compensate them as properly. But I like want to do that since the beginning. I've wanted to work with these like, I'm not gonna go on a big ass list, but like for example, like I met like ages ago. Haven't reached out to them because I know I'm not ready. And it doesn't make sense for them to work with me right now. I would love to work with them, but that desire to work with them has been there since the day I met them. It's not because they're a queer Black artist. This would be really like great to check this off the list.
Yeah, no. And I like the self-awareness to know that like you don't want to reach out until there's a point where it's mutually beneficial.
Exactly. I'm never gonna. Like, I'm very self-aware. I've had to be self-aware. You got to be self-aware in this game.
That's a fact.
I have a chip on my shoulder, OD, but I'm also very self-aware. Like there's a lot of opportunities people have not given me, and it's definitely hurt, and it's definitely like motivated me, and it's also reminded me that hey, like they just don't know to a certain extent.
That's the best.
Do you feel like the perception has shifted ever since you dropped Saturation? Do you feel like that chip is still very much as heavy as it was before?
It's still heavy because there's still people making noise and trying to create static with me that's one-sided. And I'm gonna be an underdog in this shit for a long time. I know that. I've been the underdog for a really long time in my life when it came to a lot of shit.
What do you mean by that when you say I know that? Like, why are you so certain about that?
No, because I've been counted out in multiple avenues in my life, whether it be athletics, whether it be school, whether it be music. There's multiple avenues in my life where because someone looked at me and didn't see what they wanted to see, they used that as a way to not do something for me or
most
help
importantly,
something.
he said like he's a guest in the space. Like you're always gonna have to face that when people are questioning, what you're in it for. From the jump, if people don't know what your intentions are, they're just gonna look at you. They're gonna be like, "Oh."
I wasn't even talking about that, but that's facts though, because I mean, I have no chip. When it comes to that, there's no chip on my shoulder about that at all. Like people questioning my intentions
that's where
about shit.
Awareness is so important.
That's what I'm saying.
Too, yeah.
When people are questioning me about my intentions, I'm never gonna be upset unless you're like my man's. Like you see me in the studio every day, I'm gonna be like, "Are you stupid? Like what the fuck? Like you know what I'm doing?" type shit. But like when it comes to like people who don't directly know me or have a close relationship with me, and they have these conversations, I can feel a small way because it's like, damn, you probably would understand me more if you listened and dissect the music. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to take those critiques. That has nothing to do with the chip on my shoulder. The chip on my shoulder has to do with people not necessarily going out their way, but just not giving me a chance to represent myself. Yeah. So like when class, for example, the amount of times I don't have my hand raised in class and I was skipped over, I would make eye contact with a teacher. She'd be like, "No one else? Okay, we're moving on." Like that shit has happened to me. Fucking getting cut from certain like basketball teams and shit, bro. When I knew I was a better athlete than people who made the A team and shit like that. Missing out on certain opportunities because somebody thought I wasn't ready type shit. So that type of shit, there's always gonna be a chip on my shoulder for that shit. And that's never gonna change because I got 25 years of living through that. But I also think that motivates me a lot too. I will say I have to keep a balance because I don't ever want to make something out of spite. Like I feel like I've made a lot of music out of anger and spite. It hasn't been good. Like making music out of anger is one thing, but I think like making music, at least for me, when I've made music to try to prove something to anybody but myself, it's never worked out. All of these songs I made because I genuinely liked making them and I fell in love with them. This is the first project I've dropped where head to toe, everything I've absolutely loved. Like I dropped Digital Dior last year and shout out 009. That was a great project. But there were definitely songs
in that. On there.
Huh?
Man of the Year on there.
Yes, sir. Snow that.
You,
Best song on the project, not for none.
Thank
but There were songs on that project where I was like, I'm putting this here because I need something to fill space. But this project, it was like, bro, it's not as like Blue Guac is my least favorite song on the project, and I fucking love that shit. I love that song. Yeah, it's all about duality. It's all about understanding that humans are multifaceted creatures. Even when it comes to myself, like in these organizing spaces for so long, people couldn't see me as a survivor because of my identity, because I'm a cis man, because I don't fit the mold of a stereotypical victim and survivor. And even in that was like, I'm shoving people in the face like, boom, your preconceived notions of who I am are nothing of what they really are.
Amen. I appreciate that explanation, and it's got.
Yeah.
It's on?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also makes me want to, take a spin back, a saturation back. And with that context of everything that you're mentioning and the duality, because I know it's more important now. So now it doesn't just seem like you're doing the drill or the house music because that's what's like popping right now. You feel me?
Exactly.
But genuinely because, of everything you've been through in life.
Exactly. And even with like, I'll go specific, like with the Blick and the Roses, like, the two people who are holding in front of me are like, these are two beautiful women who at first glance, you're not going to assume they with that rah-rah shit, but don't get it twisted. Are with that shit, bro. And so I want it I ain't going to go into no further details,
I ain't going
to know further details about none of that shit, but don't get it twisted. Those are very, very strong women. And you don't need to be with the shits to be a strong woman. Let me get that clear. But they are with the shits, for lack of better words. And so, again, it's like you got two conventionally attractive women who don't seem on the surface like they with that shit, but they are that shit. And that's across the board too. Like I had mad people that I know in there who are like, we're just striving to be models, striving to be a rapper, and I just bring it all together. It's just like, we're everything.
Hey man, let me just tell you, I appreciate you. I'm proud of you, bro. It's been
appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all having me on here for real.
We've been doing this for years, man. This journeys for years.
I'm hit.
And it feels right. I know you've been wanting to get on the pod for a minute, but this one feels right. Feels right. You had your event last week. You had KOBK come out. I appreciate you for that. But like you getting your love and getting love in that moment, that was a great special moment. And I hope, that just motivates you to just want to keep doing more, bro, and just keep working.
Def too, bro. Yo, if you got shows, book me. Book me. I like performing. Ever since that shit, bro, just reminded me how much I like being on stage, bro. Like that shit just like, I can see why people fall in love with going on tour so much, because it's like, it's just so invigorating. Like, there's very few moments where I'm so vulnerable with people, especially on that scale, and I get so much in return. And that was one of the first moments of my life where I was just so blatantly vulnerable. Because like I said, bro, like even in the drill music, I'm talking about serious shit. Like 30 Degrees, I'm talking about somebody I lost in a car crash. I'm talking about losing my grandmother. I'm talking about losing somebody to do the police violence. Like, and it's over a drill beat. Yeah. Like people could get sturdy to my shit while also listening and hearing what I'm saying and being like, yo, it's deeper than drill. It's deeper than the shooting.
That's a conversation I want to have outside of the pod. How does is that backwards? If you really want them to take what you're saying seriously, or just knowing the weight of what you're saying, does it feel like it's undervaluing that by let's just get sturdy, let's just get right, and they're not really listening to the music, but they just listening to the beat?
Well, at the end of the day, if you're dancing to something, bro, like you're feeling it. So like while they might not
feeling the beat,
they feel the beat, but at the same time, bro, like you can't really separate the two. Like eventually this person who's just danced to the music, they're eventually I have to trust that they're eventually gonna make their way to listening for real. Maybe that's an expectation that I can't really have, and maybe there are people who aren't gonna do that. But at the end of the day, art is to be consumed and to be appreciated. Like I can't control how someone's gonna react and move to my music. All I can do is make sure that I make it in a way that I want it to be made. So like even with the drill music, like at the end of the day, the drill music I make, I don't really see a clear difference in something that I make versus somebody like Favi or Shani Bin Laden, like all these other New York drill rappers. Because at the end of the day, while we could talk about it's glamorizing, glorifying certain shit, this definitely is reflections of their community.
No, sometimes it definitely is.
But no. And it could be both. It could be both. But at the end of the day, it's still like I'm going to assume positive intent with that shit and understand that like this is their life, just like this is my life. Like the rah shit I talk about is just as real as the sad shit and vulnerable shit I talk about. And so like I said, with them, that's reflections of their community. This is what they grew up to talk about and think about. And that's how they're expressing themselves. So it's the same thing with me. I had the privilege of being able to be very vulnerable as a child with my mother, even though me and my moms went through a lot of shit with our own relationship. Like I said, I done got kicked out of my crib multiple times. My mother made sure no matter what was going on, I was in tune with my emotions. That's something that has been with me since, like I said, I was fucking in 5th grade crying to Kanye West, bro. Like, who the fuck does that? Like, go home. Like, bro, get it together. What are you crying about? But it's like, I've always been so in tune with my emotions. So, but that's a privilege that I was given as a kid. Like my mom taught me how to be in tune with my emotions. She taught me it was okay to feel things. She taught me it was okay to sit with yourself and sit with your feelings. The other men in my family, that's not the case at all. And a lot of those environments that these drill rappers and like these gangster rappers are living in are the environments where I was talking about where it wasn't okay to be vulnerable. It wasn't okay to acknowledge the fact that like, yo, I'm fucked up. Because now they have to say, anytime they say they're fucked up, they have to like be like, I'm fucked up, but I'm about to do something about it. Like it's never like, I remember the conversation you had about Kendrick's albums, like how it transitioned from him observing the things that are going on versus observing how it's impacting the world around him. I've been afforded the ability to observe and analyze. A lot of folks aren't there yet, emotionally mature enough to be able to have those conversations with themselves at the end of the day.
But that's real though. Shout out to your mom for real. No bullshit.
No bullshit.
Nah, but my mom is literally like the most
Goat
incredible
status.
GOAT. Like there's no person in the world. Obviously, I'm biased to my mom's, but like
but
me and my mom's
from the
gone
sounds of
through.
it.
Me and my moms have gone through hell and back to the point where like when we have arguments, bro, and we're starting to get mad at each other, we're both able to be like, all right, hold on. Are we really mad about this thing? Like there was one time during 2020, bro, where she was pissed at me because I ain't mowed the lawn. And I'm like, hold on. Are you really mad at me that I didn't mow the lawn? Or is there something else that I did leading up to this that made it so this was like the last straw? And she was like,
where did I go?
She was like, you know,
because I'm gonna have to use it. Are you mad at me for not washing the dishes? Or
no, obviously you can't do it in like a condescending, patronizing way, but you can like.
He said I felt. He said
I was trying to see where I could take
not
it.
like that. No, so like that conversation went great because I've had that conversation multiple times with my mom since, and it's like, yo, I never dreamed I'd be able to have a conversation like that where I'm like, I'm not checking my mom's, but I'm putting her in check in the sense that like, yo, you're mad at me about some shit that really doesn't make sense for you to be mad about. What else has gone on in the last day for you to be this upset about this small thing? And she was like, you know what, you're right. I'm not actually that upset about the lawn. I'm upset that you did this. I don't exactly remember what I did. Yeah. I was just being an ass, but like type shit like that. Shout out my moms, bro. She don't taught me everything. She don't taught me inadvertently and on purpose, inadvertently, I don't know what but like, she done taught me everything I know.
Shout
her and 50 Cent.
Her and 50 Cent. And Kanye, clearly.
Yeah, shout out Kanye from that time, not this time.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, it's been Dom Dior.
Yes,
I'm bad
sir.
for the
Yes,
community.
sir.
We appreciate you, bro.
Also, I want to just give a quick shout out
conversations.
to all the drill rappers, all the house artists.
Nah,
not on
we
our
can't,
platform.
We can't let you do
Nah,
that. I'm sorry.
not all of y'all niggas.
Sorry. Not all the drill
Not
artists.
all y'all
Sorry.
niggas.
I want to shout out Spliff Happy though. Shout out Spliff Happy.
I don't know who that is,
don't
bro.
know.
I don't know.
Get him. Spliff Happy was one of the reasons
Get out the frame.
why I was able to do this shit because I was
Too
really,
easy.
really confused on how to actually blend the
That song's a
sounds
force.
into,
Too easy?
Too easy.
That song's a force, yeah.
Yachty, bro. There's so many. Like he just got gems on top of gems, bro. Raga, all that shit. But definitely get hip. He like watching his come up has not only been really inspiring, but it's like he started making the sound. Like he basically like was like the final puzzle piece of this whole project because I was really struggling. Besides like using like on Let Me Know, the first house song, Izzy used like traditional drill drums on it. But like I was still having trouble trying to find ways to fully blend the drill into the house versus just using certain drum types. When I heard Too Easy and when I heard a lot of Jersey drill, I was like, oh shit, this it makes sense now. Like it was like, this is the step I needed to take. And all it took was me listening to a song by him. Shout out Vino, because Vino put me on to him. And
Shout out Vino Rex.
I'm not gonna lie, this project probably wouldn't have existed without Spliff Happy either. Shout out Spliff Happy.
Hey, if y'all made it this far, make sure. See, now I sound weird. Whatever you did, bro, made me sound weird. But hey, Make sure y'all like, subscribe if y'all made it this far. Check out Saturation by Dom Dior.
Shout out Izzy. Shout out Sammy. Shout out Kai. Shout out Tomo. Shout out Sneeze. Shout out.
I wish we had the bombs.
You know.
Yeah, I love it.